if at some point tonight, I'm hoping it doesn't happen during the game. It didn't last night, but it did pregame. That the HDMI came loose and they lost the signal. Just you can pull on my headphones or whatever you got to do to get my attention, and
All right.
But then I'll get back in. I'm gonna go down and put a piece of tape on it.
Listen to it real quick.
Try and secure it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a mic check just to make sure. Can you listen to the stream though? Check.
I hear.
Check. Here at Elyria, Rockanushi, Mike Rush, Dave Rydell, Gary Pelter. Check.
I hear you, just doing one inside, but I hear you. I hear the mic. Yep, I hear myself.
It's because the camera's
Yeah,
on.
that's what
I'm
I'm
going to
saying.
turn
I heard
that
the
off
camera.
whenever the game starts because it creates an echo.
I hear Gary. You'll get the crowd. There is no opening billboard kind of a thing. You're just going to go on.
We're just going to take it. Yes.
Okay.
Taking a 6:35.
Okay.
Hey, Pel, 6:35. We're going to take it. 6:35. Hey, Pel, can you throw your headset on? See if you can hear me. Check.
You're muted. Oh, that's right. You should
You can do it anyway.
Yeah.
Man, I love when things come together.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Somewhat working. Okay.
Usually it's 30. Is he 30 this year? Nope, not 30 this year. Zero. Should be keyword. But he's also, they're all playing 2 days. He's a basketball player. I think it's Harris. I think it is Harris. He's a
Reconnection successful. Reconnection successful.
Somebody said Dale Lucina.
we'll probably butcher a few. Zep, that's not really the Zep playing the pros, is it? Zep quarterback, when St. Ed's back in the day, Zep?
Not sure.
I don't know if they said.
So that's one extra challenge for you then, I guess, Dave, is the
Keep an eyeball on that. All right.
All right. I'm gonna. Happy Friday, WEOL.com and Chronicle Telegram listeners and viewers now as we are live here at Elyria High School. We're here at the stadium for Week 1 high school football action as the Pioneers welcome in the Wildcats of Mayfield here for our very first Friday night of 2025. Again, happy early start to the weekend, everyone. I'm Rocco Nushi. To my right, the one and only Mike Rush. Dave Rydell saddled up next to me on my left as he will be efforting the best he can on the laptop, the scoreboard, and this, that, and the other over there. And Gary Pelter outside setting up the camera as we get things going, as You can see him on the screen right there. Pelt getting things finalized down there, but that's A-okay. Hey, appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, the new WEOL.com, the new way that we'll be doing our marquee matchup each and every Friday night. We got it started last night with the Thursday matchup, Mike, as St. Ignatius visited Avon. Mike Elder and crew had some fun at the expense of the Wildcats. But just to kind of reiterate what we got going on here with this new setup, it's just awesome, in my opinion, to finally be able to bring you guys, a watchable game. It was great by all means to be able to listen on the radio for years and years and years, but with that no longer being a factor for WEOL, we've moved things to YouTube, at least for one of our games. We still got streams 2 and 3, as we always have, but great to finally, get the listeners and the viewers something to see now to go along with the audio, Mike.
Yeah, Rocco, it's great to be with you, and like you said, I'm so excited to be a part of this new journey with WEOL and adding the video component. And I'm a long-time listener myself, so to be a part of it now in this new adventure is super exciting. And, it's week 1. It's the first Friday night of 2025 football. We think we've got a good game here as Elyria hosts Mayfield. They played a year ago, and Mayfield won 16-7. Elyria thinks they're much improved this year, coming off a tough 0-10 season. And Mayfield, 5-6 a year ago. They're in the Western Reserve Conference. Their last year in this league, so it makes for a good matchup here in week 1.
It certainly does, and we are very much looking forward to it, as I had a chance to catch up with both head coaches, Matt Wilson from Elyria and also Ross Bandiera over on the visiting Mayfield sideline. So I'll tell you what, why don't we step aside, take our first break. We'll thank a couple of our sponsors why don't we thank all of our sponsors before we take that break, as tonight's matchup between Elyria and Mayfield is brought to you by Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford at the corner of Route 57 and East Broad Street. Eco Tree Services, your complete tree care company. Valley Chevrolet on State Route 18 over in Wellington, and by Stewart's TV and Appliance, 468 Cleveland Street, right here in Elyria. Again, Ross Bandiera, head coach of the Mayfield Wildcats, comes your way next. Right here, it is the WEOL.com Gridiron Clash, streaming live tonight on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavs. For several years, you've heard me talk about Eco Tree Services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted Eco Tree. They did an incredible job. The folks at Eco Tree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me. When your trees need attention or even require removal, contact Eco Tree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find Eco Tree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
High school football in Lorain County is all about tradition, pride, and community, and that's what Stewart's Appliance is built on. For generations, Stewart's has been the family-owned appliance store you can count on for quality products and personal service. From refrigerators to washers, ovens to dishwashers, Stewart's has what you need to keep your home running. Proud to support Lorain County and proud to support high school sports. Stewart's Appliance, where community comes first.
Back here on the WEOL pregame show here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel, our second live broadcast, I should say, our first Friday night YouTube video here of 2025. It'll be the Elyria Pioneers welcoming in the Wildcats of Mayfield for some Week 1 non-conference action. And hey, let's talk some Wildcats football with their head coach, Ross Bandera, who joins us here on the pregame show. Coach, thank you first and foremost for taking some time. We were talking off air a little bit, busy week. You guys are getting back into classes this week, obviously week 1. So let me just start with the summer. How did it go for you guys? Did you get some good scrimmages that you like? Any big change, in program numbers or coaching staff changes? Just kind of give me the lowdown on this summer for your Wildcats, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate you having me, Rocco. The Wildcats have been working hard this summer, just like I would imagine every team.
The balancing act for that.
Just starting back day one with the beginning of the program. Starting with the base plays, and even if the older guys are a little bit bored with that, we just always start over every year. Act like the kids don't know anything, because a lot of times we do this as a career and we do this as our passion, and that's all we do. X's and O's, and they just want to work out and get themselves ready to go. And it's like, oh gosh, wait, what was that play that we ran last year? So we just really start over from square one and just kind of go from there and build the offense and defense and special teams as the summer goes on.
Again, Mayfield Wildcat head coach Ross Bandera joins us here on the pregame show. His guys getting set to take on Elyria tonight in some Week 1 non-conference action. Let's talk about the offense a little bit. I was reading a preview on another media site for you guys. Looks like you'll be trotting a freshman out there as at quarterback, correct?
So Dario DiAgostino's a freshman this year. He's if you looked at him, You would never in your life think that he was a freshman. He's pretty tall, just kid that just fits into our football team and has a pretty good arm, and he's been working his butt off all off season trying to get himself prepared for a moment like this. And he'll be our starter tonight. I apologize. And he will also, Kingston Murchison, a receiver, will also get some playing time too, a quarterback, as the night goes on. So we got kind of a two-thing system going on, but Kingston plays defense as well. So, we just wanted to make sure that we had someone ready for the quarterback position that to give Kingston a little bit of a break for playing defense and offense. And he's kind of our slash guy, if you will.
So you talked about a number of experienced guys kind of at those skill positions offensively. How much does that help D'Agostino? Like you said, he's a freshman. You wouldn't necessarily know it, as you said, kind of looking at him with the arm and everything. But I got to imagine that helps, right? Having some experience around him on the offense, not to, hold his hand through the process, but just to kind of help get him acclimated.
Definitely. I mean, freshman being a freshman, he's still a freshman no matter what you say he looks like or how good he is. He's still a freshman. So he definitely needs those guys around him, and I think we have some good skill guys around him. We have a pretty good line up front for him to kind of feel confident, dropping back and hoping that he's not going to get hit every single play on a pass play. So I think that that definitely helps. The experience of those kids are going to help bring him along and hopefully allow him to just manage the game and not have to go win it for us every week.
Let's look at the other side of the ball if we could, Coach. One of the names that I was reading about for you guys, senior defensive end Micah Lynn, seems like he's maybe poised to have a big season. You talked about some of the other guys on that side of the ball as well. What do you make of your defense so far heading into week one?
I think our defensive line is our strength right now. Micah heading that up with also sophomore Luciano Trasic and junior John Harris, both those three guys, two of them coming back after this year, and Micah being the senior. They're just big, physical, great weight room kids, good athleticism, fast, physical. I mean, just anything you could ask for in a defensive lineman, I think those three bring to us. And then our linebacking core with Gavin Heikala as a junior and Anderson Ekstrand as a senior are going to be hopefully helping them stop the run. And then we got some good secondary guys. Like I said, Jaden Haynes on offense and defense. He'll be playing with Kingston Murchison. Will be in the secondary. J.D. Sega, and then Ben Corrett and Frankie Menta will round out our defense.
I always like to ask about this, especially early on in the season, because I feel like, at least from a casual fan perspective, a lot of folks maybe don't think about this. I know you as coaches certainly do. The special teams in the kicking situation, what does that look like for you guys this season?
Yeah, you're going to hear this name a lot, but Michael Lynn's going to kind of do our kickoff duty.
Okay.
And he used to play soccer, so he's kind of back in football last year, and so we kind of given him that opportunity to be our kicker.
Awesome.
And then we'll have a field goal extra point kicker and a sophomore, Aiden Sinelli. And then I think Kingston or Dario's brother, Danny D'Agostino, will be doing our punting. So we're still kind of battling that out.
All right. Making it hard on me to keep track of all the guys kicking the ball out there tonight. No, that's all right.
Yeah, we got a few.
There you go. It's certainly not unheard of. You see that a little bit throughout high school football. Let's talk about the matchup then tonight, right? Elyria, you guys saw each other last year. You got the better of them. I guess we'll start. Do you take previous year matchups into consideration heavily at all, or do you just kind of put that one in the past? You did what you did that night, but this year it's a whole new game. How do you approach that?
Yeah, I thought Coach Wilson did a pretty good job his first game as head coach at Elyria. We did win the game 16-7, but it was a close game the whole night. They did a pretty good job. To see that they went, didn't win a game last year is totally mind-blowing to me, because I thought that, number one, they play a really tough schedule, so I don't think that they're 0-10 football team. And then number two, they were pretty good. They have a lot of athletes coming back. They're big up front. So I think just getting to know his system and them getting to know each other and just kind of feeling each other out, I think this year they're posed to have a good year, and they're definitely a scary opponent for us. We're not taking them lightly at all, and we'll hopefully be ready to go on Friday night.
What are a couple of things you guys really need to do well, if I could talk, to get a week one victory here?
Sure. The offense, our defense, their offense. I think the quarterback is a great athlete, so we got to be focused on where he's at all times. Hopefully, stop his running game, and then he throws a really nice deep ball too. So being able to cover in the secondary. They got a few good slot receivers, a few good receivers in general that we have to, kind of key up on and and stop. And then defensively, I just think, just trying to put them in situations that maybe they haven't seen before out of us, and different things that we, have been practicing on all summer that we might have to bring out, just to kind of confuse them as much as possible on defense and get them to play a little bit, to not use their athleticism as much as they have been in the previous scrimmages that we've seen.
It's incredible. It always seems like the preparation for week one, right? Because you basically have the whole summer to prep for. Obviously you're putting different things in, right? But it's just kind of weird that, this 1 week, it gets so much extra attention maybe compared to the rest of the season where everything becomes compressed a little bit. But hey, season's finally here, and I think that's something that we can all get excited about, right?
Yeah. You just don't know what the other team's thinking or doing. And so hopefully, you just have a game plan of kind of a general game plan, and then you got to adapt from there.
Good deal. Well, Coach Bandera, thank you very much for the time. It is greatly appreciated. Here's to the season finally being here, and best of luck to you and your Wildcats tonight as you guys hit the road to take on Elyria.
Appreciate you, Rocco. Thank you very much for having me.
You got it. That's head coach Ross Bandera of the Mayfield Wildcats here on WEOL on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Recently, we had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down. Or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Back here on the WEOL pregame show here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. Week one here in Elyria as the Pioneers get set to take on the Mayfield Wildcats. Again, here on our video YouTube game of this Friday night, our second one of the year. Of course, you guys watched Ignatius at Avon last night. But let's talk some Pioneer football here with head coach of the Pioneers in his second year at the helm, Matt Wilson. Coach, as always, we really appreciate the time here on the pregame show. Summer has gone by the wayside. Week one is finally here. So why don't we talk about the summer, right? It always seems to go by fast, but how did it go for you guys? Your second year, I'm sure it was maybe, I don't want to say easier, but, kids are a little more comfortable with you. You're a little more comfortable with them. Yeah. They kind of know the system at this point, right? So how did the summer kind of go for you guys?
Our summer actually went really well for us. Yeah, like you said, we kind of had some systems in place and expectations that the kids understood and they knew that they had to live up to. And our energy was really good this summer. And so, all of our guys, or most of our guys, were here pretty much every day in the summer that they were supposed to be. And we've got a lot of good work in, and we're looking to be an improved football team this year.
Well, let's talk about that improvement, right? The 0-10 last year, we know about that. So you guys have used this hashtag, and I really like this across your social media platforms, hashtag the climb. I think I may have seen you guys put that on a couple of T-shirts or something as well. Where did that sort of start, and how has that kind of been embodied, right? That mindset, what that hashtag means, the climb. I mean, you're just trying to climb from where you guys are at now to a bigger and better place.
Correct. So basically the idea is, I knew what I was walking into when I took the job here at Elyria, and I was very excited for that challenge. And so last year was really about getting things organized and trying to get kids pointed in the right direction and try to build a vision for the future. There had been a lot of turnover prior to me taking over as the head coach. So I told our kids, it's not going to be easy. Our conference and our schedule, our non-conference schedule is really tough, and everything we're going to do, we're going to have to work for. So, we have to climb. We have to climb to get to where we want to go, to get to that mountaintop. So we talked about, last year we were at the very bottom of the hill, and this year we're expecting to make some progress up that hill, if you will.
I want to ask you about that non-conference schedule, if I could, Coach. Obviously, the focus is on Mayfield tonight, right? But even outside of that, your guys' non-conference, it's not easy. As you just said, you guys have your challenges in the non-conference. What's kind of the mindset heading into the non-conference, right? It's not like you really get I don't want to call it a tune-up game or whatever, because I don't know if that's really a thing necessarily in high school, right? But just, a challenging non-conference, is that something the kids really look forward to embracing?
So yeah, our non-conference is tough. Mayfield is very well coached. They're always a solid group. They're a tough out no matter what year they are because they always play a certain brand of football, and that's definitely tough. And then we played, Lorraine, who had a great year last year. And so that'll be a tough game, and it's a rivalry game, so it's something that our kids get up for. And
Right.
So we'll be excited about that. And then we take on Brunswick. So, another big school here in Northeast Ohio and a big conference, so it kind of does get us ready. Our conference is no joke. Our conference is really good as well. Very well coached. All the teams last year seemed to be like the best year for all of them for a long time. So we know our schedule's really tough. And so, we started off, with Mayfield.
I mean, my goodness, you guys are playing the, reigning Division II state champs in your conference schedule later on this season, right? So, yeah, certainly has its challenges. I want to look at some of the individuals or maybe some of the position groups, I guess would be better for you guys. In the preview information that you had sent me, Coach, and again, we're talking with Matt Wilson, head coach of the Elyria Pioneers, your offensive line, you get a couple of guys back up front. I imagine that goes a long way with just trying to establish some consistent success on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, our offensive line is definitely an improved group. We have two players coming back who have been basically 3-year starters, and one is a junior. He started as a freshman, and the other one played some games as a freshman and started his sophomore, junior year, and obviously will be starting this year. Those two guys are the leaders of our offensive line. They're two of the strongest kids on the team. They do a great job. They're very technically sound. They understand what's going on. They make calls, all that sort of stuff for us. And so we've built some kids around them, some kids that were in our program last year who have gotten a lot stronger, dedicated themselves to the off season, and really gotten ready to have a much more successful year this year. So our offensive line, I feel like, will be greatly improved from last year.
Quarterback position, that belongs to Antonio Pride heading into week 1, correct?
Correct. Antonio was our backup all last year, and he took over the last 3 games of the season last year. And he did some nice things in the last couple games, but being the full-time quarterback, having a full off season and stuff like that, he's really taken on a leadership role with our football team. So he is a kid that he's really good in the huddle. He really understands our offense. He takes command of it. He's basically a coach on the field, as you want all quarterbacks to be. But he's kind of a dual threat kid, and we're hoping that he has a big season for us this year.
How many different guys you figure you might rotate in at receiver, at least to start the season? We always talk about Elyria and some of the talent that you guys have and the athleticism you have at the skill position. How many different receivers you figure kind of make that early season rotation?
Sure. We have through the 4 receiver positions and running back position. We have a solid 2 deep at that. So we could see up to 8 different receivers and 2 running backs will play probably throughout the season. And so we feel really good about that group as well. Both sides, our outside receivers, our inside slot guys, and our tailbacks. Like I said, I feel we are solidly 2 deep at every position out there.
Defensively, Coach, where do you guys, where would you like to hang your hat on that side of the ball this year?
So our thing with our guys, we returned Levi Springer at middle linebacker. He made, last year he led our team. He had over 100 tackles. He's a kid that we're expecting big things from. He's just an energy guy, fast. He's just kind of all over the field. Some of the same guys that are playing on our offensive line will be playing in our defensive line as well. And so we were much stronger in the front than we were a year ago. So I think that's going to help us quite a bit. And in our back end, we have some guys, some new guys, guys that are working into positions, but they've done a great job for us all summer. So we expect good things there. Our identity on defense will be, flying around, getting hats to the ball, being very aggressive, and we're an attacking style of defense.
Coach, before we look at, tonight's matchup against Mayfield and a couple of keys to victory, as we always ask you guys for, just looking at this group as a whole, we talked about, the climb and what that means for you guys. just kind of from your point of view and what you've seen so far this summer, is this starting to feel like the group that can really get Elyria Pioneer football back to where it maybe should be?
Our kids definitely have bought in, and they have done it. Like I said, we've had a really good off season. We had success in both of our scrimmages, something that we couldn't say a year ago. And so our kids they do have kind of a quiet confidence about them. And I do think that with our improved strength across the board, and so we have a lot of kids returning that played a lot of football last year. We were really young last year, and we were really small. And some of those kids have grown up. They've all added strength, and they've all added size. And so I do think that this is a group that can surprise some people this year, yes.
All right, and there is Elyria Pioneer head coach Matt Wilson, along with Mayfield Wildcat head coach Ross Bandiera. Big thanks to both of those gentlemen for joining us here on the pregame show. That's brought to you by one of our sponsors tonight, Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford, at the corner of Route 57 and East Broad Street. Again, welcome back to WEOL.com and the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. Week 1 here in Elyria. The Pioneers getting set to take on Mayfield, a game that went the way of the Wildcats last season, 16-7. I'm Rocco Nucci. He's Mike Rush, Dave Rydell, producer extraordinaire to my left, with Gary Pelter, the Peltmania, or Peltomania, I should say, manning the camera down below. Hopefully we don't have to corral him from going full Peltomania amongst the Pioneer faithful. Speaking of the Pioneers, they'll be in their black uniforms, red numbering and lettering, with the black and red helmets. Mayfield, they are in the road whites with the green numbering and lettering. And, well, Mike Rush, wouldn't you know it, easy numbers for us to read up here in the press box. You got to love it.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad for week 1. And listening to Coach Wilson there, kind of some of the keys for Elyria, I think they got to get off to a good start, a fast start. They've had a losing mindset now for a few years. I think they got to get off to a good start. They're going to go up against a freshman quarterback with Mayfield here, so how can they impact him? Offensively, Pioneers got to get the ball to their playmakers in space, and they got to try to finish and get a victory here to start the season.
You mentioned that freshman quarterback for Mayfield. That's Dario D'Agostino. He's got an older brother, Danny, on the roster, who is a senior, but it will be Dario starting at quarterback, and we'll see him here following this kickoff. It'll be Lex Brunner kicking it off, or Bruner rather, Lex Bruner kicking things off tonight for the Pioneers. They will be moving right to left on your screen. I'm used to saying right to left on your radio dial, but you guys can watch it now here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube. A couple of guys back deep to receive here for Mayfield. As again, the Wildcats will start with the ball. Elyria won the toss, but elected to defer. So here we go. Bruner puts his right foot into it. It's end over end towards the end zone, and that one is going to trickle out of bounds, and we'll have a penalty on the opening kickoff, as that was J.D. Sega, just like the old school game console, back deep to return for Mayfield. Look at Dave Rydell getting the little flag icon up there atop the scoreboard. Very nice work out of you, my friend. You're going to be a quick learner over there on the laptop, I think, and the cell phone. You got dual screens going over there. So Mayfield will start tonight's game with the football at their own 35-yard line, and it will be freshman quarterback Dario D'Agostino out there to lead his troops. We'll get you the rest of the starting Wildcats here momentarily. Pioneers starting this ball game on defense. Defensive coordinator Dave Latkovich calling the plays there, as there's a handoff right away, stuffed in the backfield, as that was Ben Corrett on the carry, and he was greeted immediately in the backfield. That's a nice play early by the Pioneer defense. They're going to need some early exciting plays, Mike, like you said, to get off to that good start.
Yeah, and you mentioned Coach Dave Latkovic. This is a whole new defensive coaching staff for Elyria. Coach Wilson brought in a whole new defensive staff. Coach Latkovic, a longtime head coach in the area, and so far, so good, one play into the year.
And we'll see a lot of Ben Corrett tonight, I think, the junior for Mayfield, as D'Agostino takes a snap. He'll fake it to Corrett. Now he'll throw the little bubble screen, and that one is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Sega, the little RPO bubble. As he read it well, but Sega just not able to bring it in. He had a lot of room to run if he would have caught that. So pretty quickly, a 3rd and long situation here for the Wildcats, and freshman quarterback Dario D'Agostino. Quickly up front here for Mayfield, it's Luciano Trasic, the sophomore left tackle, Sam Weintraub, the junior left guard, Michael Fapiano at center. He's a senior. Micah Lynn, the senior right guard. He'll double up as a defensive end as well. Ethan Claflin at right tackle. He is a senior, number 67. Receivers are Jaden Haynes, Kingston Murchison, J.D. Sega, and J.D. Dinnan. A lot of experience there. Haynes and Murchison, both juniors. Sega and Dinnan, both seniors. Ben Corrett, the tailback, he's a junior. D'Agostino takes the snap. Big drop back. He's going to go high, deep across the middle. He's got a man wide open in that Sega. He caught it at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Forget about it. Touchdown, Mayfield. They strike first, and in quick fashion, J.D. Sega. Not sure what happened there. Just a complete breakdown in the secondary there, Mike.
Yeah.
As Sega wide open over the top. D'Agostino delivered a perfect ball. He's got his first varsity touchdown pass, does Dario D'Agostino, and Mayfield has their first touchdown of 2025. It's 6-0 Wildcats.
Yeah, and Rocco, such a good start for Elyria. The first 2 plays in there, like you said, a complete blown coverage. Looked like the defender thought he had help behind him. He didn't. And it's a big-time play for Mayfield to start their season.
Extra point is up and in. As doing the extra point kicking, it will be Aiden Sinelli for Mayfield. So Sinelli makes this a 7-0 game, and that's where we stand. Just 46 seconds into this ball game. It is Mayfield 7, Elyria nothing. We'll be right back after this quick timeout. You're listening to the Gridiron Clash on WEOL.com and on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube.
High school football in Lorain County is all about tradition, pride, and community, and that's what Stewart's Appliance is built on. For generations, Stewart's has been the family-owned appliance store you can count on for quality products and personal service. From refrigerators to washers, ovens to dishwashers, Stewart's has what you need to keep your home running. Proud to support Lorain County and proud to support high school sports. Stewart's Appliance, where community comes first.
Back at Elyria following the long touchdown pass from Dario D'Agostino to J.D. Sega, and the extra point from Aiden Sinelli makes it 7-0 Wildcats here to start this ball game. And boy, we talked about Elyria getting off to a fast start tonight, Mike. That not necessarily in the cards for them after giving up the big touchdown pass.
Right, and you're going up against the freshman quarterback. You've got a 3rd and long. You've kind of got him right where you want him, and you have a blown coverage. And again, we talked about it, you know. There's a kind of a here we go again mentality, but you've got a chance to right the ship here. You get the football here, and Elyria's got a lot of playmakers, and they're going to try to answer back.
You're really reliant upon the sideline guys, right, to kind of just keep the spirits up after a play like that. It's easy to start pointing fingers and yelling at one another, but they got to try to keep things together. As there's big Micah Lynn, as Coach Bandiera told me he'd be doing the kicking off, and he does just that, as this one is caught at the Pioneer 5 out across the 22-yard line, and the return man is stood up right there at about the 22. So that's where the Pioneers offense will start their first drive of 2025. Let's take a look at that Pioneer offense, starting with senior quarterback Antonio Pride. Up front for him, left to right, it'll be Jackson Goodspeed, the senior left tackle. At left guard, it's senior Xavier Cross. Junior Parker Osborne at center, with the right guard, senior Torrance Vaughn. At right tackle, it's Braden Schleimer, a senior number 56. At the skill positions, you got senior Chris Rogers at receiver, Asa Brown, another senior wide receiver out there. In the slots, you got more senior receivers, and Tiger McCullum, Ja'Cory Bradley, and then Levi Springer, the senior tailback this season for the Pioneers. So Pride in the shotgun. He's going to take the snap. He's going to turn. He's going to give to Springer, who will muscle his way up the gut for a couple, maybe give him 2 if you're feeling generous about it, and that's where Springer will end up. So a short pickup for Levi on his first carry of the ball game.
Yeah, you mentioned that senior receiving core, and you know, that's a group along with Antonio Pride that's really worried Coach Bandiera. They got to take account for the quarterback. They got to take away the vertical passing game.
Coach Bandiera mentioned this Elyria team is just littered with athletes, so if they can find a way to put it together, they could be a dangerous team within that SWC. And there's a false start, yep, as that one is on the right side of the offense there. I'm not sure who that might have been Ja'Cory Bradley, who got a little bit of a head start there. They had him lined up in the backfield, did they, with the slot receiver. So back the Pioneers up 5 yards. It'll be a 2nd and 13 situation now for Elyria.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of pre-snap motion from Elyria, a lot of that jet sweep action, a lot of, you know, power read, giving it to the guy. So sometimes that can cause some issues early on.
You definitely want to utilize the athleticism with your quarterback Antonio Pride, as it'll be head coach Matt Wilson calling the plays this season for the Pioneers, doubling up as the offensive coordinator. Pride takes the shotgun snap. He's going to take this one himself right back up the middle, gets greeted and leveled. The ball comes out. Mayfield says they have it. No, the officials say he was down, as that was Anderson Ekstrand. Anderson Ekstrand for Mayfield, laying the wood on Antonio Pride, as that was a big-time hit. You can hear the Mayfield coaching staff to our right saying, hey, I think Antonio Pride was still up on that. And they may have a case, but nonetheless, they'll say he was down. It'll bring up a 3rd and 10 as Pride basically got back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, big-time hit by the Wildcats. They're fortunate to get the ball back here is Elyria, and they're now forced with a 3rd and long. Not a great position to be in here early.
So we'll try to get you that Mayfield starting lineup here in a minute if we can. Elyria moving relatively quickly offensively. Maybe a delay of game here, and that's exactly what it'll be, a delay of game. Not sure what happened there. Antonio Pride maybe just losing track of the play clock or what, but 3rd and 10 becomes 3rd and 15. All right, so here is that Mayfield Wildcat defense. It's senior defensive end Micah Lynn wearing 55. At nose tackle, it's junior John Harris. Luciano Trasick lines up opposite of Lynn at that other defensive end spot. He's a sophomore. Linebackers are senior Frankie Menta, junior Gavin Heikala, Anderson Ekstrand, a senior, and Ben Coretta, junior. And in the secondary, it's Catrell Bowie, a senior cornerback, alongside Jaden Haynes, a junior. And the safeties, junior Kingston Murchison and senior J.D. Sega, who caught that long touchdown pass. Pride here on 3rd and 15, takes the shotgun snap, under some pressure, steps up in the pocket, but not before he's taken down, and that's big Michael Lynn, number 55. We'll be calling his name a lot tonight, and for that reason right there, he stuck with the scrambling Pride, brought him down, and that'll force a 3-and-out here for the Pioneer offense.
Yeah, again, we talked about one of the huge keys for the Mayfield defense is to contain Pride. He stepped up, there was nowhere to go. That can be a scary play, you know, when a quarterback can run like him, and they're able to contain him and get him on the ground, and good start for them, and a couple penalties on Elyria, and you know they're going to have to punt it away here early.
And speaking of punting it away, the punt team a little late getting out on the field, and they got one man lined up about 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. Now he'll back up, as it'll be Bruner to kick this one away for Elyria. And what do we have here? A whistle. Play clock was running down, and they're going to reset it to 25. Now someone will come jogging off here for the Pioneers. That's number 13, Omari Ford, as Elijah Hope will trot on in place of him. So again, Bruner set to punt this one away for the Pioneers. It's J.D. Sega and Kingston Murchison back deep to return for Mayfield, as Bruner will take the snap and gets it away just in time, nearly blocked. Sega runs up to get it, and he bobbles it. Ball's still loose, and a couple of bodies piling on it, but I think Sega got it back before any of those Pioneers could get in there to pry it away, and that is exactly the case. So Mayfield with tremendous starting field position here, Mike, already in Pioneer territory at about the 46-yard line, 47.
Yeah, and again, difficult start for Elyria. They give up the big play, couple flags, 3-and-out, and now, you know, they got to get a stop. They're faced with some adversity here. They're playing on their side of the field, and, you know, they got to stand up and try to get a stop and impact this freshman QB.
So we'll get you that Pioneer defense as well here as soon as we can, as they were off the field in a hurry last time out, but not in the way that they'd like it, as taking that one back up the middle is Ben Corrett. He'll muscle his way to about the 45-yard line before he's brought down. So let's get you that Pioneer defense. Parker Osborne at defensive tackle alongside Torrance Vaughn and Jackson Goodspeed. The linebackers are Kyrie Anderson, a junior, Amari Ford, a senior, Levi Springer, a junior, and Elijah Hope, a senior. And lining up in the secondary, it's Aaron Ensign, a junior, Eris Malone, a sophomore, Dolan Melendez, a senior, and Chris Rogers, a sophomore. So, got the wrong number for Elijah Hope, by the way. He's number 12, not 22, as I have on my scoreboard
and
here.
Mayfield going with the quads look here up top. Coach Bandiera said they're going to try to throw different formations at the Pioneers.
That's exactly what they try to do. They set up the bubble screen, but it was sniffed out immediately by the Pioneers. That's good defense there by Elyria. As I'll tell you what, Khalil Washington did a good job of just making his way downhill and basically just taking away the bubble, and DeAugustino had no choice but to throw it away. That's the problem sometimes with those bubble screens, is you kind of run out of options quickly. But we do have some laundry on the field, and could this be a holding penalty? They waved it off. All right, so no flag. Maybe they were thinking a legal man downfield or something, not sure, but either way, the bubble screen blown up. So 3rd and 8 now here for the Mayfield Wildcats. Again, they lead Elyria 7-0 here in the first quarter. 7:41 left to play. Akanushi, Mike Rush here with you. Dave Rydell producing. Gary Belter below us outside the press box, working that camera. So here's DeAugustino in the shotgun on 3rd and 8. Looking deep down the near sideline. Flag comes out. That ball is way over the head of the intended receiver. That was Danny DeAugustino, so he was looking for Big Brother on that one. But let's see what the laundry is for.
Yeah, a lot of flags early, sloppy. Sometimes that's a product of the shorter preseason that we've had. Looks like it might be on Mayfield. It is.
Then another ineligible man downfield. Wow, okay, so a couple of those here quickly on the Wildcats, but Elyria will decline, and so they will get the ball back, as Mayfield will look to punt this one away. I believe Kingston Murchison, yes, that is Kingston Murchison doing the punting tonight for Mayfield. As who is that back deep to receive for Elyria? Is that number 4? Is that Chris Rogers back there? Can't tell. We'll know in a minute here as Murchison takes a not perfect snap and now boots it deep. Rogers will settle under it at about his own 5-yard line. He's going to look to return this one and gets out across the 10 up near that 12, 13-yard line. So an okay return there by Christian Rogers. A maybe dangerous decision there, Mike, to field that one. It's kind of that awkward area, though, where you maybe want to let it go, but you don't want to get your team stuck within the 2 at the same time.
Right. You got to be fearless back there as a punt returner in high school football, and if you're going to make a decision, you got to go catch it. And you know, a positive sign for Elyria. They get the stop. They're faced with some adversity early. Now they can hopefully settle in and breathe a little bit. I think a first down here would do them well, backed up, and just kind of settle into this game.
Yeah, just got to get that ball moving somehow, some way. So here's the Pioneer offense at their own 13-yard line as they look to start their second series. Pride hands this one off to Springer. Springer looking to weasel his way out of the backfield, and he's wrapped up just shy of the 15 as that was Kyrie Anderson. Check that on the carry as both him and Springer will see a lot of the tailback action this season for the Pioneers, but not a whole lot to work with there. Just a gain of 2 sets up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, and Mayfield defensively, everything they do will be to take the ball out of Pride's hands. They don't want him to beat him on the ground, so a lot of these zone reads, the read that Mayfield's going to give them is you got to give it to your back, so we're going to see a lot of those guys here tonight.
So Elyria will break the huddle here against 2nd and 8. He's got 2 receivers on either side of him, I should say, does Pride with the tailback on his right hip. Man in motion. That is Ja'Cory Bradley, and they'll give it to him on the jet sweep. And this one is out across the 20, up near that 25-yard line, maybe the 23 is where they'll give him. So that is near the first down marker for Ja'Cory Bradley. They'll give him 7, so it will set up a 3rd and short here for the Pioneers. But an important early 3rd down in this game, Mike, is like we've talked about, you definitely just want to try to get that ball moving downfield if you're the Pioneers. And boy, another 3 and out is certainly not the kind of foot you want to get your offense out on here in 2025.
Right. They just, like we said, need to settle in, get a first down here. They've got a lot of talented playmakers on the edge, and you saw one of them there. With Bradley getting that jet sweep, and let's see if they can go get a tough yard.
So another 4 wide receiver look here. 3 to Pride's left, 1 on the short side of the field. Pride in the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. Pride's going to take it himself. Gets by a would-be tackler. Now he gets wrapped up, and I don't know if he got there, Mike. That is right at that 22-yard line. That's what he needs. And on that spot, it looks like he's got it. No, they'll say it's 4th down. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong marker. He needs the 20. He needs the 23 and a half.
About a yard short.
So he's about a yard short. All right, so looks like the Pioneers will elect to punt this one away then as another 3 and out for the Elyria offense. Not the start they were hoping for. Or will they go for this? Looks like that is the offense maybe trotting back out there. Hard to tell what
they're just missing a guy.
Yes, 26 trots on late. That is R.J. Williams. So not sure where Lex Bruner is, as he's the usual punter, and another delay of game here on the Pioneers. And now Lex Bruner's ready as he'll trot out there. As Elyria, you know, not trying to be mean about it here or anything, Mike, but just a little out of sorts here through these first 7 minutes.
Yeah, just sloppy. It's not, you know, it's not how you want to start, but you know, it's been a little sloppy so far.
It's week 1 for everybody.
Right.
So here on 4th and 6, Lex Bruner awaits the snap for the punt. He gets that one away as that one will land just across the 40, take a bounce across midfield. It's fielded by Murchison, breaks 1 tackle, tries to get out of another, and is finally wrapped up just into Pioneer territory. They'll give him the Elyria 49. So for the 2nd straight possession here, Mike, Mayfield getting to start in Elyria territory.
Yeah, and once again, you know, this Elyria defense is going to have to stand up and, you know, get a stop here in this sudden change situation. Good field position, like you said, for Mayfield. And, you know, we'll see. We, you know, maybe got to get a turnover, something to turn this momentum a little bit, get this sideline going. As we said, they've been battling this losing mindset, and it's easy to kind of say, here we go again, but somebody's got to make a play to turn it around.
Yeah, Wildcat defensive coordinator Nick Taddeo has got to be loving what he's seeing right now from his Mayfield defense, as we'll get another whistle here, and what do we got? Is maybe an equipment issue here for one of the Pioneers? Are they saying he had to? Oh, is that what it is? Something a pants issue?
Cover your knees.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah,
that's a big point of emphasis with officials.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh yeah.
Especially week 1.
So Now we're ready to go. 1st and 10 here for Mayfield, again at the Elyria 49-yard line. Wildcats lead Elyria 7-0 here with just under 5 minutes left to go here in this first quarter. Freshman quarterback Dario D'Agostino finding J.D. Sega for a long touchdown pass on their opening drive. D'Agostino back to pass again, looking deep down that far sideline. He's got a man in stride. It's caught at the 15, 10, 5, tumbling into the end zone. Touchdown, Mayfield. Boy, oh boy, another long touchdown pass here for the Wildcats. That's Jaden Haynes on the receiving end. He just beat his man in single coverage down that far sideline, and a beautiful ball from the freshman D'Agostino.
Yeah, and it looks like Elyria is trying to play man coverage on the outside, pressed up. And, you know, if you don't get hands on it and disrupt that route at all, and you allow them to get to the sideline and you don't have a whole lot of help over top, that's going to be tough. And a good execution by Mayfield, and they're rolling here early.
I'm afraid to leave my cornerbacks in single coverage on Madden, let alone in real life. Extra point is up and good, so make it 14-0 Wildcats over Elyria with 4:42 left to play in this first quarter. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on WEOL.com. It's the Gridiron Clash, also streaming live on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down, or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
High school football in Lorain County is all about tradition, pride, and community, and that's what Stewart's Appliance is built on. For generations, Stewart's has been the family-owned appliance store you can count on for quality products and personal service. From refrigerators to washers, ovens to dishwashers, Stewart's has what you need to keep your home running. Proud to support Lorain County and proud to support high school sports. Stewart's Appliance, where community comes first.
And big thanks to Stewart's TV and Appliance on 468 Cleveland Street in Elyria for jumping on board with us this season alongside Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford, EcoTree Services, and Valley Chevrolet. A lot of trust from our sponsors, knowing that we were doing things a little bit differently here this fall with our high school football coverage, especially here on the YouTube game each and every Friday. So again, just want to thank all of our sponsors that have hopped on board, and a big thanks to those folks, and we're very appreciative of the support. So Micah Lynn set to kick off here for Mayfield. They already lead 14-0. This one a short kick that'll land at about the 20-yard line. It's fielded there by the Pioneers out across the 30 as he'll be wrestled down at about the 32. So that's where the Pioneers will start their, third offensive possession now, as they just got to get moving forward, I think, here, Mike, right? We talked about trying to get a first down. You got to get yourself in a second and third and manageable before you start thinking, scoring.
Right. Right now it's simple. Get lined up properly, get your call, execute the call to the best of your ability, and like you said, you got to get a first down. You got to have something to feel good about, something to kind of take a breath and allow your sideline to get into it a little bit.
Mayfield in that 3-4 defensive look. Again, Micah Lynn, John Harris, and Luciano Trasic, just really a handful for guys to deal with. Those big three up front for Mayfield. So here's Pride in the shotgun, 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Springer in the back, or Anderson rather, in the backfield with him. There's a nice catch, or pitch and catches. Breaking a tackle here is Tiger McCullum, and McCullum's out across the 45-yard line, tackled right about at the 45. So Tiger McCullum, a nice catch and run there for Elyria. Good ball from quarterback Antonio Pride. And how about that, Mike? The Pioneers get their first down of the new season.
Yeah, good route by McCullum, good ball by Pride, good pitch and catch, and he's able to get some some yards after catch, and just right on cue, that first down of the game, and now they're trying to mount a drive here.
Well, you got to sustain it if you're Elyria. They'll go with that same look. 3 to Pride's left, 1 to his right as he sits in that shotgun. Kyrie Anderson back there with him. Pride, a 3-step drop. He's going to step up to avoid pressure, and he gets wrestled down, and they're going to horse collar on Micah Lynn. Or, I'm sorry, that is Luciano Trasic, 65 for Mayfield, who just had the big paw up a little too high around the collar of Antonio Pride. The officials were all over it, so a personal foul will give Elyria a free 15 yards, a free first down, and that should put them into Mayfield territory. So the Pioneers getting a break there. They stacking some good plays now, one after the other, so they'll look to keep this drive moving in the right direction. Again, Matt Wilson, the head coach, he is the offensive coordinator as well this season for the Pioneers, doubling up doing the play calling duties. So certainly happier, I would think, right now than he was after those first couple of drives.
And again, he was hired so late last year in February. That first year was kind of almost like year 0. You almost get a pass for last year. You came in so late, and they've had a good off-season. Talking to Coach Wilson, they've got their sport performance class at
Which is
Elyria High
huge.
School,
That's
which is so huge to get the kids lifting during the day. So
it's hard to keep the kids around after school sometimes, no matter where you're at. Here's another bubble screen. This one is caught by Jaden Haynes. Haynes breaks one tackle, tries to get through 2 more defenders, and then gets thrown down there just across the 40-yard line of Mayfield. Looks like they'll get him to about the 37-yard line. So a pickup of a couple for Jaden Haynes. He's certainly, or I'm sorry, not Jaden Haynes. That's Ja'Cory Bradley. I'm looking at the wrong roster. My apologies. Ja'Cory Bradley on the reception there for Elyria. It's week 1 for a lot of us.
And again, you already see kind of the creative ways that Elyria can get the ball to their guys. Jet sweeps, there they have the tailback kind of bubble out, so they've got a lot of different things they can do to get the ball out.
Get the athletes in space. You hear that all the time, and it really is that simple. Antonio Pride looking for another quick hitter here. He has his man once again in Ja'Cory Bradley, and Bradley's got another Pioneer first down. This time he's out to about the 27-yard line of Mayfield. And, well, how about this, Mike? Just like that, Elyria looking like a well-oiled machine here offensively.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen a rhythm, and they're not, going at the fastest speed, but they don't huddle. They get the play, they get up on the ball, and they're in a rhythm, and they've got some momentum here.
It's always interesting to me how the receivers can kind of just get themselves lined up and not have to be a part of the play call or anything like that. Really, that's just how football is anymore, with the different ways to communicate things and the different styles of offense, but it just always amazes me. In motion here is Bradley. Pride, he's going to take it right back on the tail end of Kyrie Anderson, his lead blocker. He's not going to get very far, though, as he was wrestled down by a couple of Wildcats. John Harris, one of the big D tackles out there for Mayfield, one of the first to meet him. So Pride maybe got back to the line of scrimmage there. 2nd and 10 situation here now for the Pioneers.
Yeah, and just to kind of go back to that sport performance class at Elyria, Coach Wilson's really think it's paid dividends in the offseason. His guys are bigger, faster, stronger, and a lot of schools on the west side have been doing that for a number of years. I think Avon, I know, is kind of one of the pillars that started it, and a lot of people try to copy them and a lot of things that they do. So it's great to hear here at Elyria.
I know North Ridgeville head coach Brian Morgan, he's told me that's been one of the biggest difference makers for his program's resurgence, is just getting guys in the weight room. Told me his guys look like football players now. Pride takes the shotgun snap under pressure, floats one out to Kyrie Anderson, and that one was off the fingertips, and maybe rightfully so, as he was looking to take a big hit if he would have reeled that one in. So it does fall incomplete. Sets up 3rd and 10 now for the Pioneers, as jogging off with a little bit of a limp there is Xavier Cross. So that'll be something to keep an eye on here, Mike, as Xavier Cross will look to just maybe collect himself here on the sideline. He'll grab some water. Hopefully he's all right. He's certainly one of the more crucial pieces for the Pioneer offensive and defensive line. So
yeah, not a ton of depth here for Elyria. One of Coach Wilson's concerns for being a Division I school, not a ton of bodies out.
So 3rd and 10, 4 wide receiver look here for the Pioneers. 3 to Pride's left. That's where he's looking here on the shotgun snap. He's looking deep down the sideline, nearly caught, but it would have been out of bounds anyways, as that was Asa Brown on the would have been receiving end. But now we got a flag in the backfield. Pride went down, and let's see what the call is. Could that be a late hit on Antonio Pride? He's doubled over, and yeah, that is a roughing the passer. Good call there, Mike. Antonio Pride took a late shot there, despite that pass falling incomplete, so he'll earn himself a first down for his offense, and the Pioneers will keep this drive alive. And they trail Mayfield here 14-0 with $1:52 left to play in this first quarter.
Yeah, and that one hurts a lot if you're Mayfield. It's 3rd and long. You make a play, you think you're forcing a 4th and long, and you commit a roughing penalty, and it extends the drive for Elyria.
So now the Pioneers, a fresh set of downs. That moves the ball all the way up to the 12-yard line here of Mayfield. So Elyria knocking on the door, looking for their first points of the new season. And they'll look to cut that deficit in half if they can find their way into the end zone here. Pride, another 4 wide receiver look. He's going to take the shotgun snap himself. Pride up the middle, looking to get out of a couple of tackles, and can't quite elude everyone as he gets across that 10-yard line inside the 10 to about the, we'll call it the 9. So a 3-yard pickup, they'll call it, for Antonio Pride. Sets up a 2nd and 7 situation now for the Pioneers.
Yeah, and obviously down here the field shrinks a little bit, so Mayfield plays a lot of man coverage anyway, so down here there's some tighter windows, and you got to account for the quarterback run always.
So definitely some chances for Elyria to get creative with how they approach this red zone trip, as they got the athletes, like we've talked about, to do a couple of different things. We'll see if they get into some RPO action, maybe try out a jet sweep down here. things always tighten up, especially once you get inside that 20, let alone inside the 10. And what do we got here? Another offensive penalty here on Elyria, as that will be another 5-yard infraction for the Pioneers. So back them up to the 14, and there's a delay of game. So probably, well, not probably, if you talk to Coach Wilson right now, he'd say, yeah, it's just too many mental mistakes right now for my guys. It's the third delay of game penalty we've seen from Elyria here in this first quarter.
Right. Some of that's to be expected, like we said in week 1, but eventually it's got to be cleaned up because you're hurting yourself here.
So Pride in that shotgun look. 2 wide receivers on either side. Kyrie Anderson to his right in the backfield with him. Pride takes the shotgun snap. He's looking right for Anderson. He's going to turn and catch it. Takes a big hit and then drops it as Kyrie Anderson wasn't able to hang on to it. And he took a big lick, so not a bad idea there from Antonio Pride looking for Anderson out of the backfield, but the Mayfield defense got over there in a hurry. Would have shut it down prior to him scoring anyway, but nonetheless, a 3rd and 12 now here for Elyria at the Mayfield 14.
Yeah, and Rocco, they worked on that play in pregame, the little tailback wheel. Again, when you play man coverage, you've got a lot of times a linebacker on that tailback going down the sideline, and a nice hit to break it up for Mayfield.
So here we go, 3rd and 12. 3 wide receivers to Pride's left, 1 on the far side on his right. Anderson in the backfield with him. Pride takes the shotgun snap, high arching ball, back corner of the end zone, and it's just over the outstretched arms of Ja'Cory Bradley, and another flag in the backfield here. And who is this one on? Let's see. Officials are talking. They're going to look toward the Mayfield sideline, so I'm guessing that's
Coach Bandiera wants to do here, decline it or push him back.
I think, well, we'll see. It is a hold, and it will go against the Pioneers, so they'll decline it. I think they still held up the 4th down, right? Yeah, they'll decline it, so we'll see how Elyria decides to approach this 4th down situation. I see Lex Brunner out there, so that indicates to me that they're going to try what will be a, 31-yard field goal here for Elyria. So the Pioneers looking for their first points of the new season. If Lex Brunner can deliver. It's nice and centered for him, so
timeout
now
here,
a timeout.
so they can get organized.
All right, so we'll keep it right here as with 52.5 seconds left to play in this first quarter. It is Mayfield 14, Elyria nothing. We'll quickly promote our other games happening tonight across the WEOL network on WEOL.com Stream 2. It's Rob Polinsky and Tom Evans, the tag team, back again with Jared Kozar. They're over at Westlake as the Demons welcome in the Midview Middies. Again, that one audio only over on WEOL.com Stream 2. And then our Medina County matchup over on WEOL.com Stream 3. Michael Keefe, Chad Meyer, they're right back at it, picking up where they left off last season, and a good one for their lid lift there on Stream 3. Berea Mid-Park visiting Brunswick, so that should be an interesting matchup. Again, Midview at Westlake on Stream 2, Berea Mid-Park at Brunswick over on Stream 3, so 3 games here of Northeast Ohio High School football on the WEOL network. All right, so after the timeout, Lex Brunner will look to get the Pioneers on the board if he can knock one home here from 31 yards out. Snap is back, hold is down, kick is up, and that one is good. So the Pioneers on the board here in 2025, courtesy of a Lex Brunner 31-yard field goal pooch. We'll be right back after this timeout. Our score, Mayfield 14, Elyria 3. It's the WEOL.com Gridiron Clash streaming live tonight right here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down, or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted EcoTree. They did an incredible job. The folks at EcoTree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me. When your trees need attention or even require removal, contact EcoTree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find EcoTree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
Back here at Elyria, 14-3, our new score, following a Lex Brunner 31-yard field goal, as he'll set to kick this one deep. Mayfield getting set to go back on offense. They've been efficient, certainly, on that side of the ball, but Elyria finally piecing together a nice drive. Still had a couple of penalties that sort of killed things down near the red zone there, Mike, but all in all, you get 3 points on the board, and you're feeling a little bit better about yourself here at the tail end of this first quarter.
Yeah, like you said, something to feel good about. You ended with points. You know, we've always heard every possession you want to end with a kick. And that time
There
it's
you
a
go.
field goal. So now you got to, try to get a stop. It's been the big play that's hurt him. A 67-yard pass given up and a 51-yard pass given up to freshman quarterback Darren DiAugustino.
Yeah, you got to give him a lot of credit for some beautifully thrown footballs, as this will be Murchison back deep to receive, and on the return now for Mayfield. He's got some room up the near sideline across the 50. One man to beat him, Bruner. He sheds him aside with a mean stiff arm, and now he's finally run out of bounds, and they'll call him out of bounds at the Pioneer 35-yard line. So you got to credit kickoff man Lex Bruner there for putting the body on the line and trying to force Murchison out of bounds, and he did just enough to slow his momentum and give the Pioneer defense a chance to try to get a stop here. But once again, for the third straight series here, Mike, Mayfield starting in Pioneer territory.
Yeah, the soccer coach was cringing right there as Bruner was trying to go make that tackle, but Kingston Murchison is a big-time athlete. We've heard Coach Bandiera talk about him, and he'll play all over the place. He's kind of a wildcat quarterback type, offense, defense, and there he makes a big play on special teams.
Yeah, he did tell me over the phone that, if DiAugustino needs a breather or is, banged up, whatever, Murchison is definitely the go-to guy behind him on the depth chart. So here's DiAugustino taking that shotgun snap. It's a little screen play here. It's set up well. We've got a flag in the backfield. So we'll hold the phones here, as this might be a Mayfield touchdown. No, he'll run out of bounds just across the 10. It will tailback Ben Corrett, but that might be all for naught. You see a couple of Pioneers clapping it up down there, so usually indicates this one going against the offense, and I think that will be the case. It is a hold going against the Mayfield Wildcats. So wipe away the big-time pickup there for the Wildcat offense. They'll instead be backed up a couple of yards.
Yeah, flags on both sides already, and we're still not out of the first quarter, and the flags are piling up so far.
Yeah, we'll say it a lot. It is just week one for those down on the field, those in the press box, and everybody in between. So again, wipe away the big game. That was a well-executed screenplay, I thought. Defensively, Elyria bit pretty hard on that. The D-line came screaming through. The Mayfield O-line did a good job, except for the holding part that ended up wiping away the big play. So 1st and 20 now here for the Wildcat offense, back at the Pioneer 45 now.
Yeah, and if you're Elyria, again, you got to take away the big play. You can tackle up.
And another flag flies immediately on the snap. Corrett will take it, and he muscles his way out across the 40-yard line. But let's see what the flag is for and what maybe illegal procedure, illegal motion, illegal formation, one of those.
Something
against
illegal.
Mayfield. typically what the laundry indicates. So I think it is, illegal formation against Mayfield. Or it is a false start. I don't know why they wouldn't just be whistled dead then right away. But nonetheless, 5-yard penalty goes against the Wildcats. So 1st and 25 now. And kind of a tale of, two sides of this first quarter. It was Elyria just kind of piling up the offensive penalties early, backing themselves up with a couple of delay of games and a false start in there. Now it's Mayfield kind of shooting themselves in the foot. They started this drive in Elyria territory. Now they're at midfield. 1st and 25 from the 50.
And we'll see if they go back to a screen here, maybe a quick screen, maybe a draw, something to get some of that yardage back.
So a 3-wide receiver look with the tight end, and wouldn't you know it, another flag is thrown, and is this a timeout? I think it's just a timeout. Yeah, that is
maybe a sideline issue, I think.
Is that what that is?
Some type of
So is
sideline warning.
Whatever that is, that's another 15 yards that they'll be backing up the Mayfield offense. So first and 40. Who had that on their bingo cards here for 2025? Oh, my goodness. 1st and 40 from their own 35-yard line for the Mayfield offense. And you can't help but chuckle at that a little bit, Mike, huh? My goodness.
You don't see that on the scoreboard often.
Dave, you've been around WEOL for a long time. You seen 1st and 40? Yeah. Well, simple as that. DiAugustino takes the shotgun snap. He's looking deep. He's throwing deep across the middle, and that one's over the outstretched arms of a would-be wide receiver. And, well, it wouldn't be a play tonight without a flag, huh? Danny DiAugustino, the intended receiver, and I think this might be a defensive pass interference or a defensive holding, as that one was thrown right around the area of where the catch would have been made. But no, the Pioneers clapping it up defensively. So did they hear something from the official that we're just not seeing?
And the
illegal man downfield.
There's a lot to tackle there. Another penalty, but again, the fact that someone's behind you defensively when it's 1st and 40 that can't really happen.
Shouldn't happen.
As an old defensive backs coach, that's you can't let someone behind you ever, especially when it's 1st and 40. But
Coach Rush would have been a little hot and bothered seeing that one.
Yeah, we gotta give yourself a little bit more cushion than that.
Yeah, some tough Saturday morning conversations,
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes, it would be.
So 2nd and 40, as that penalty was declined, and we could have had 1st and a mile, but instead 2nd and 40. Corrett will take the shotgun handoff, and he's got his legs about him up down that far sideline, and he's pushed out at about the 50. So a nice pickup there for Ben Corrett. Give him 15 on the pickup. And that'll set up a 3rd and 25 situation. You don't see that too often after picking up 15.
Well,
Usually it's good enough
right.
for a first down.
It's funny to say it's 3rd and somewhat manageable now. When it was 40 compared to 40, now 3rd and 25.
Yeah, so still not even back to that original line of scrimmage, as this has been a nightmare possession here for the Mayfield Wildcats with just about 9.5 seconds left to play here in this first quarter. Mayfield will break the huddle. 3 wide receiver look with the tight end. D'Agostino, the freshman quarterback. And, another false start. Was that Murchison who moved right here on the near side?
And now I'm going to put on my wide receiver coach hat. That's another inexcusable penalty. Wide receivers go on the snap count. There's no reason to flinch or do anything. You move. I should say you move when the ball moves, not on the snap count.
Well, and that's just something as simple as he forgot the snap count, essentially, right? From that jog to the huddle out to
my
a spot
point is
here.
you're watching the ball. I misspoke, but my point was you go when the ball goes.
Yeah.
The ball didn't move, so there's no reason you should be caught up in the snap count.
So 3rd and 30, the situation now for Mayfield. Another 3 wide receiver look here for the Wildcats. And 9 seconds left to play here in this first quarter. D'Agostino is going to take another deep shot down that far sideline, and a big-time catch there by Jaden Haynes, and I think he might have got away with a little shove there against the defensive back Rogers for Elyria, but the referees are going to leave the laundry in the pockets for, maybe the only time they've done that here tonight. And that will be a first down here for Mayfield as this first quarter comes to a close. So after 1, our score, Mayfield 14, Elyria 3. Wildcats with a big-time play there to get the first down, as they'll have it at the Elyria 20 when we come back with the second quarter. Again, it's Mayfield 14, Elyria 3. We're streaming live tonight. It's the WEOL Gridiron Clash on WEOL.com and on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel.
High school football in Lorain County is all about tradition, pride, and community, and that's what Stewart's Appliance is built on. For generations, Stewart's has been the family-owned appliance store you can count on for quality products and personal service. From refrigerators to washers, ovens to dishwashers, Stewart's has what you need to keep your home running. Proud to support Lorain County and proud to support high school sports. Stewart's Appliance, where community comes first.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Recently, we had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
Back here at Elyria. Big thanks to EcoTree Services, one of our sponsors for tonight's ball game. You heard Tim Alcorn voicing that commercial for EcoTree Services. He had the call last night here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel as Avon had some fun at the expense of the St. Ignatius Wildcats. As here on 1st and 10, Ben Corrett for Mayfield's going to take the outside handoff, work his way across the 20 up near that 15-yard line, just shy of that 15 is where he's wrestled down at. So a pickup of 3 for junior tailback Ben Corrett for Mayfield. So it'll set up a 2nd and 7. You know, head coach for Mayfield, Ross Bandiera, he talked about a lot of individuals on his team. Murchison was certainly one of them, but he talked about Ben Corrett a lot too, and just sort of the workload that he would have in that Mayfield backfield this season, and we've seen it on display. I mean, nothing overly explosive from him, but we can certainly see, you know, why they're going to ride him quite a bit this season, I think.
Yeah, he's always moving forward, and Mayfield, again, they've got a lot of playmakers as well, and you're seeing a lot of them here.
He's sporting some nice bright cleats and gloves as well, so that's always appreciated by the broadcasters. And, well, that's not another flag thrown, as this one will go against Mayfield. Elyria, that's one thing we'll know with this Elyria defense. They'll let us know who that penalty goes against with their reactions. No doubt about that, as they'll give a nice round of applause for anything going against Mayfield. And so back them up 5 yards, turns 2nd and what would have been 4 back into...
It's going to be about 2nd and 11.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it was about 2nd and 6 or 7. So 2nd and 11 now. Thank you. So Mayfield will break the huddle. We don't have an official penalty count, but too many
I'm
is
tracking
my
them.
answer. Are you really over there?
I've lost I've lost count.
So
I'll
we
have
got
to
an
go back at
unofficial
halftime.
count. There we go. It's kind of a pistol look here, and oh my goodness, another penalty here, and this is going to be, what, a false start going against Mayfield. So back them up 5 more yards. I mean, this, again, I mean, we'll say it. I mean, it is week 1, so you'll certainly see a little bit of this across the board, not just here at Elyria, but with a lot of high school football games across Ohio here tonight. But man, oh man, I mean, this just seems a little ridiculous, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. You know, everybody knows the preseason's been cut down a week in Ohio, but this is a bit excess.
Yeah, what do we need, like some stricter officiating in some of these scrimmages or what? Man, this is kind of crazy. So another false start penalty going against Mayfield, and you can see, I think that's head coach Ross Bandiera over there on that far sideline out there talking with one of the officials. I mean, I'm assuming that's a lot of this conversation, right?
Well, and so many of them, Rocco, are pre-snap. You know, they're not in the spirit of play. It's lining up properly. It's those type of things.
Well, they just got hit with another 15-yard penalty, I think, for the sideline warnings again. So 2nd and 9 turns into 2nd and quite a long ways. Where's that, the 10? There, so about, what, 2nd and 31, yeah. Bandiera, or not Bandiera, I'm sorry, D'Agostino taking the shotgun snap. Ball is tipped and then caught by Corrette. My goodness, how did he stay with it? Corrette now out across the 45, down near the 40, and he'll be brought down there. So a lot of excitement for a 1-yard gain there. Ben Corrette just playing center fielder there as one of those Pioneer D linemen got a hand on that football. It was another screen play. D'Agostino didn't put enough loft on it, so that could have been disaster. But fortunately for Mayfield, it ends with a gain of 1.
Right, and that's every defensive lineman's dream, is you get your hand on the ball on a screen. You might be stumbling the other way, and here it's a completion for Mayfield, albeit only a 1-yard gain, as you said.
You forgot the bumbling at the end of that. You can't be rumbling and stumbling without the bumbling, my friend.
Now, listen, it's 3rd and 30, Rocco. You've got to get a stop. You gave up a 1st and 40 before. You got to keep everybody in front of you.
Well, and a penalty flag thrown right away. That might help, and nearly intercepted there by the defensive back for Elyria. That was Tiger McCullum.
We've got a sideline warning on Elyria. I don't know if it's a warning or I think it's maybe just a warning, but
so
we're getting a little bit of everything called.
Yeah, Matt Wilson, the head coach there for Elyria, doing the arm wave towards
get
everybody.
Off the
back
red.
It up, back
Everybody
it up.
Get off the red.
That's right. Yeah, it must have been a point of emphasis for some of the officiating crews here to start this season, just to be a little tighter on that type of thing, because that is about as no nonsense as it gets. We've had, 3 or 4 sideline-related flags thrown, and we're not even 2 minutes into this second quarter. My goodness. So it'll be Kingston Murchison, the do-it-all for Mayfield, to punt this one away. Christian Rogers back deep to return.
They're not lined up, Elyria.
So Murchison gets this one away, and that one is trickling out of bounds, or towards the sideline, rather, inside the 5. And it goes out of bounds near that 4. You're right at the 4 is where it's downed, as that was Cottrell Bowie downing it there for Mayfield. So 95-plus yards here for this Pioneer offense to try to get some more points on the board with 10:05 left to play in this first half. We'll keep it right here. Just disjointed this game, I think, all the way around right now. No real rhythm or groove has been able to be established because we're stopping action every play.
It kind of looks like a scrimmage, Rocco. It kind of looks like a disjointed scrimmage of sorts.
Yeah, we're just missing the coaches actually on the field without being penalized for it. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe they're thinking it is a scrimmage and they're just getting penalized for being on the field. So, again, Elyria will start this drive at their own 4-yard line. So, tall task here for quarterback Antonio Pride and his offense.
You're just trying to flip the field position a little bit and get a first down or two. Got to be careful.
So here's the snap, the turn, the give to Kyrie Anderson, and he is wrestled down immediately right near that original line of scrimmage. Maybe got close to that 5-yard line, but not even a whole yard, I don't think, gained there by Kyrie Anderson. So 2nd and long here for the Pioneers. Just haven't had much with that ground game, whether it's Pride keeping it himself or, an outside sweep to Kyrie Anderson or Springer. It just hasn't really been there in terms of running lanes.
Yeah, Mayfield's done a nice job of keeping contained and kind of turning everything back into their pursuit. And with Elyria's speed, Coach Bandiera admitted it to us on the field. Elyria's got better athletes than Mayfield, but Mayfield's doing their job.
Yeah, those front 4 really doing a lot of work right now here for Mayfield. There's a nice play there for Elyria. This one is caught and then shoved out of bounds is the receiver, Kyrie Anderson, as he got out across that 10-yard line, maybe just across it. And they'll give him the 10. All right, so Third and 4 now for Elyria at their own 10-yard line. As a big third down chance here for Elyria to try to just get it out of their own territory. You certainly don't want to punt this one away and give it to Mayfield, already in your own territory. So Pride in the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers to his left, one on the short side to his right. Anderson in the backfield with him. Pride awaiting the shotgun snap. Now he gets it. Pride looking deep down the sideline. He's got Christian Rogers, and he's got it. Christian Rogers, a heck of a catch by that young man out across the 30. So a gain of about 20 there for the Pioneer offense. A Pioneer first down. And how about that, Mike? A nice explosive play without some laundry to accompany it.
Yeah, really good execution on that fade. Great route by Rogers. The corner was trying to kind of ride him out of bounds, but he was able to get off kind of that press coverage. Good throw by Pride, and Pioneers are on the move.
Yeah, we've seen DiAugustino make a number of really impressive throws here, the freshman quarterback for Mayfield. But how about Antonio Pride, the senior here for Elyria, saying, now wait a minute, I can do that as well. And Christian Rogers helping to make that play happen there on the receiving end. So 1st and 10, Elyria at their own 30-yard line. They trail 14-3 with just over 9 minutes to play here in this first half. Pride, he's going to take it himself back up the middle. Pride working his way through traffic out across the 30, brought down just shy of that 35-yard line as a host of Wildcats were there to greet him. So a small pickup there for Antonio Pride, but positive yards. Sets up a 2nd and 7 situation here for the Elyria offense.
Yeah, and to kind of focus on Pride for a little bit, he took over last 2 games of this year. Last year at quarterback, he was a receiver. He played on defense. Coach Wilson, very complimentary of him. He's a leader. He's really grown into that role. He gets guys to practice, and he's kind of been kind of the leader of this team.
You need those kinds of guys when you're trying to get the culture of a program turned around. I think Matt Wilson would be one of the first folks to tell you that. So 2nd and 7 here for the Pioneers at their own 33. Pride, 2 wide receivers to either side. Anderson in the backfield. He'll wheel out of there. Pride under some pressure. He's going to escape, and then he gets tripped up by the turf monster inside of his own 20. And that's a tough break there for the Pioneers, as Pride, I think, was going to be able to get out of that, Michael. He did a good job of kind of avoiding that pressure. But, again, that darn turf monster gets you when you least want it, and that'll be a 3rd and long now here for Elyria.
Yeah, tough break for the Pioneers, 3rd and long, like you said, and just trying to get something positive and just kind of set yourself up a little bit.
3rd and 18 here for Elyria at their own 21-yard line. Tiger McCullum checks back into the ball game here for Elyria. He'll line up on the far side along with Asa Brown. And now what, a timeout looks like will be called by Elyria. Yeah, so head coach Matt Wilson, he's going to take a timeout, try to figure out what to do here on this 3rd and 18 with 7:50 left to go here in this first half. Tell you what, Dave Rydell, why don't we step aside, take a brief timeout. We'll be right back here. It's the WEOL.com Gridiron Clash streaming live on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down. Or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Back at Elyria with a 3rd and 18 situation here for the Pioneers. Big thanks to everybody tuning in on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel, also online live at WEOL.com. Kristen Bauer out there, going to get a picture of us up here in the press box. How about that? Thank you, Kristen Bauer, marketing extraordinaire over at the Chronicle Telegram. This week especially, man, I'll tell you what, with the Lorain County Fair happening over in Wellington, along with trying to get our high school football coverage off the ground, it was a lot of trains heading toward, one set of tracks this week, and Kristen was a big part of making sure everything didn't collide. So
yes.
Big thanks to her. Now she's, doubling up down there as photographer for the CT. So a lot going on. Are you counting defenders out there, Mike?
Yeah.
Thinking we might have too many for Mayfield? Not sure.
No, I think we're good.
We got 5 wide receivers here for Elyria. First time we've seen that tonight. Empty backfield here for quarterback Antonio Pride. And now a timeout for Mayfield. I don't think they had themselves together defensively after the timeout. And so they'll have to regroup and reorganize. So I'll tell you what, Dave Rydell, can you sneak in another timeout for us? Oh, come on, don't roll your eyes too hard at me. Yeah, we'll do just that. We'll be right back again. 14-3, Mayfield leads Elyria with we're about halfway through the second quarter here on WEOL.com and on the CT YouTube channel.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Stewart's Appliance. Family owned, locally trusted, and proud to support Lorain County. Whether it's a new fridge, washer, or stove, Stewart's is here for you. Stewart's Appliance, serving families, supporting community.
All right, back here at Elyria amidst some timeout confusion as, Mayfield just was not set defensively following the Pioneer timeout. Elyria had lined up in that 5-wide empty backfield set.
And, we're talking about it being an opener. You're working on situations here. It's the first time all year you've been in this. We've had a lot of long down and distance, so you got to make sure you have the right personnel on the field, and everybody's working on every new situation that's come up this year, obviously, with it being an opener.
So again, 3rd and 18 here for Elyria. They'll stay in that 5-wide receiver set. Empty backfield for quarterback Antonio Pride. And, boy, now still a delay in some action. One of the Elyria coaches conversing with one of the officials here on that near sideline. So now they're trying to get the clock situated. I know, we don't have it on our stream because I don't want to totally derail Dave Rydell from wanting to work with us. So it's about the timeouts. Okay. So what we have on there should be correct, right? Mayfield has 2, Elyria has 1. So we almost got things squared away on that front. 7:49 left to play here in the second quarter, so they got that up correctly now on the scoreboard. So I think all they got to do now is add one more timeout for Mayfield, and we should be good to roll. So any momentum that had temporarily been built here in this second quarter, Mike, has come to a screeching halt.
Yeah, and you see Mayfield here lined up with 2 very deep safeties, obviously playing the situation here 3rd and long, trying to keep everything in front of them.
Murchison and Sega trying not to let anybody get behind them. So it keeps the DB coaches up at night, I'm sure you would know.
Right.
And
oh my
goodness, there it is, the false start. You knew it would happen. You just knew it would happen.
It's like they froze themselves with the long delay.
Yeah, As I think that was Braden Schleimer who got hit with the false start. So that'll put the offense in reverse. Sets up a 3rd and 23 now for Elyria. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line now. As this has just been a bit of a mess at times here in this first half. No other way around it. So here we go. Pride now takes the shotgun snap, and good decision here. He's just going to take this back up the middle. He gets by a defender, making some guys miss. Flag gets thrown. Pride gets walloped at about the 20-yard line. Ball might have came out. And that's Coach Bandiera saying Mayfield's got it. Let's see what the ruling is. And no, they'll say 4th down. So they said the Pioneers pounced on it, but we got more laundry. Let's see what that's all about.
Yeah, they may decline it here.
It's a pretty immediate flag, so that tells me usually something about the offense, illegal formation, procedure, something.
Yeah, they're going to decline it. Obviously, fourth down.
So it is a hold that goes against Elyria. Man, that was a pretty quick flag being thrown for a holding penalty, I thought. It was pretty immediate, but I don't know, maybe he just came off of his stance and grabbed some jersey. I don't know. But nonetheless, what I do know is it's 4th and a mile here for Elyria, so they'll play it smart here and just punt it away from their own 16-yard line. Again, 14-3, our score, Mayfield leading with just over 7.5 minutes left to go here in this first quarter. Boy, what a shot here from Kristen Bauer that she sent me. Look at us up there. Well, I guess you can't see you behind the glass there.
That's probably
sorry.
good that we can't see.
But you can see Gary Pelter in all of his camera work action, so that's good stuff.
Oh,
boy, low snap. Bobbled by the punter. Brunner gets walloped after he gets it away, and now it's fielded by Sega at midfield, just across midfield, rather, I should say. And Sega is wrestled down at his own 48-yard line. So Bruner did a good job to just stick with it and got the punt away. He took a big hit for it. But a good job. He'll get the appropriate high fives on his way off the turf.
He's taking a few shots tonight.
Man, oh man. That's about as involved as you'll see a kicker in a first half of play.
I don't know who the Elyria soccer coach is, but he's cringing.
Yeah, he's a little nervous. He's a little nervous right now. And it's just week 1, so.
Got a long season to get through.
Yeah, wait till you get to the SWC schedule, huh?
Bruner's had an eventful night. He's got the only points, and he's mixing it up.
Could be prom king this year, I'm telling you. So Mayfield will set up shop again at their own 48-yard line. Again, they lead Elyria 14-3 here in this first half. Rockanushi, Mike Rush here with you at Elyria High. Dave Rydell making his new WEOL debut to our left. Gary Pelter running camera for the second straight night. Big thanks to the Pelt for doing that dirty work for us. He was over at Avon last night for a big-time Eagle win over St. Ignatius. Here's Ben Corrett on the take, and boy, another flag is thrown.
That
Correct.
one was easy. I saw that
There
one
you
up
go.
here. So.
All right, Coach, up here in the press box.
That one was an easy one to see.
Some of them usually are when you see that jersey start to
Right.
expand a little bit. It's usually a pretty telltale
Yeah.
sign. So a hold will go against Mayfield. And, boy, I'm going to be very curious what our unofficial penalty count is at the half here, Mike.
It might be the whole halftime. Is me counting.
Oh, gosh, yeah, man. That's
You're going to have to give me some time to, you might have to handle halftime by yourself so I can count.
We'll see what we can do. Well, hey, with this new format, nothing's stopping us from putting the camera out there on the old band and let them do their thing here on WEOL.com, right? The band, they're in action, too, on Friday nights. A little less painful than what might be happening out there on the turf, but they're still playing. So 1st and 20 here from Mayfield. Freshman quarterback Dario D'Agostino. He's had a nice first half so far. A couple of nice touchdown passes as he'll look to step up. Now evade to his right. Gets out of the pocket. Still looking downfield. Now finally throws it away. And he took a hit right as he threw it away. So that's something I think where the young man will learn, hey, just throw this one away a little sooner. Save yourself the hit. You're going to be taking a lot of those throughout the course of a varsity high school football season. So you don't always got to try to play hero. And that's something that young man will certainly learn, I'm sure, as his career continues. But I'll tell you what, man, just to talk about D'Agostino for a second, just impressive as you can be, I think, for a freshman quarterback. Obviously, the penalties, that's played a large part in some of the lack of success in the second quarter for their offense, but those touchdown passes were beautifully thrown.
And Coach Bandier talked about he doesn't look like a freshman, and he was right. He doesn't look like one physically. He doesn't throw the ball. I mean, he throws the ball well, for that freshman.
D'Agostino takes it. He'll give the jet sweep to J.D. Sega. Sega tries to hurdle a man, but he gets hit hard out of bounds. That's a good stick there by Dolan Melendez for Elyria. Number 18 came flying over to kindly escort J.D. Sega out of bounds. So Sega got to about the 40. So that sets up a 3rd and 18 now for the Mayfield offense.
Yeah, and for as sloppy as the first half has been, you kind of forget where we're at in the game, the score. I mean, it's 14-3. The game's in the balance. Elyria, for as sloppy as they've been, Mayfield's been sloppy as well. It's really the two big plays, and the game obviously still hanging in the balance, and Elyria can make a play here as another flag comes out.
D'Agostino taking that shotgun snap, looks far sideline, a long throw to make for J.D. Sega. And that one went over his head. Christian Rogers was there in coverage, and looks like this one will go against Elyria. And, man, yeah, another sideline warning. You can see the official. He's given a stern explanation to the Pioneer coaching staff, and I don't think they're in love with some of the calls right now in regards to the sideline stuff, but nonetheless, and
I don't know if
was that just another warning?
I don't know if it's guys in the boundary that shouldn't be. If it's verbiage from coaches, I don't know what it is at this point. Maybe it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's the boundary on that one, but not entirely sure. And this, I mean, that's just so hard to do sometimes. Right. It's not exactly a super wide margin that they give you. So, but you understand. So Kingston Murchison set to punt this one away, 4th and 13, as a subpar snap is corralled by Murchison. Now sends this one deep. Rogers jumps into that one on the fair catch, and he was able to hang on. As, boy, that could have been near disaster there. Christian Rogers, good hands there, though, by the return man for Elyria. So the Pioneers get it back. Just over 6 minutes left to play here in this first half. And it's just kind of, like you said, at a bit of a standstill right now. You had the big plays from Mayfield earlier, the one good drive from Elyria, got him within field goal range. Lex Bruner pooched it through from, 31 yards. That field goal was good from. But outside of that, yeah, just not a whole lot from either sideline. It feels like one big play in either direction can really dictate how the rest of this one might go.
Yeah, and it's hard to, again, put together drives when you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. So let's see if Elyria can continue to spread the ball. They've got a number of playmakers, like we said. Maybe get the ball out quicker for Pride, allow him to, throw the ball out, maybe some bubbles and some quick screens.
So Antonio Pride in the shotgun. Two wide receivers on either side. Quickly bobbles the snap, gets it back, went to hand it off, keeps it himself, and he'll be wrestled down well into the backfield. As that play was just a bit of a disaster from the start. That's Quan Ward, the sophomore, that was in the backfield alongside Antonio Pride, but Pride not able to handle the snap cleanly, so a bit of a lost play there. And A loss of about 4 or 5 there now for the Pioneers. Sets up 2nd and 14 at their own 20.
Yeah, and those of you that watched last night's ball game between Avon and St. Ignatius on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube page, you saw St. Ignatius in the third quarter with a number of snap issues, dropping the snap, and that game kind of got blown open with those mistakes in the third quarter.
And you're just putting yourself behind the sticks again. It's just such a drive killer, especially here at the high school level when you're a program just trying to get things going and back in the right direction. Antonio Pride under pressure again, looking to get out of it. He finally throws it away, and that one was in the area of Quan Ward, again, the sophomore tailback. And Antonio Pride, hopefully he's okay. He gets up just fine. It always concerns me when you get those bodies stacked around the legs. You start twisting and turning trying to get rid of that football, but he seems to be all right.
And that's another product of the flags because you have long down and distances, so you've got to drop back to throw the ball vertically, which means you got to protect your quarterback longer. Instead of it being a 2nd and 6 and you're on schedule, 2nd and 13, 3rd and long, and now you got to drop back and throw it deep, and you got to protect.
Well, the defense can pretty much just pin their ears back at that point, too. If you're a D lineman right now, the guys up front, Michael Lynn, John Harris, Luciano Tracek, you don't have to worry about the handoff. You can just go straight for Antonio Pride. Pride, big drop back here, spins out of some pressure, looking downfield, avoids another tackle. 3 flags get thrown, so about as obvious as a hold as I think you might get here against the Pioneers. And Pride eventually got wrestled down in that backfield, so
3 flags, right?
Boy, yeah, those were.
That means it was.
Those came flying in.
A lot of people saw it.
So another hold going against the Pioneers. That one is declined.
I've seen more decline penalties tonight than I've seen maybe all last year combined in one half. We're not far from done.
Man, I mean, it's been something. It's been something here in this first half, no doubt about that. So Elyria will punt this one away after head coach Ross Bandiera for Mayfield elects to decline the penalty, and the right decision there for obvious reasons. It's 4th and long. Elyria well into their own territory, so not in any kind of position to try to go for it. Who's to say a flag wouldn't wipe it away anyway? So it'll be Bruner set to punt this one away.
Got to watch the snap here. Last time it bounced in.
Murchison, Sega, both back deep to return for Mayfield. And a high snap for Bruner. He jumps back to get it, and
Another
again
flag.
gets it away. Another flag, like you said, and good job by Bruner just to get it away. Kind of came off the side of his foot, though, I think, as it went out of bounds, near that 30-yard line? And let's see, they're going to decline it, I think, Mayfield, as this one goes against Elyria. So illegal formation maybe, because that one came out right away again. It's been hard to tell, though, with some of these flags, to be quite frank with you. So Mayfield will get this. Where did they officially spot that at?
35.
35, okay. It's about where I thought it might. Okay, so let's see. Again, 14-3 our score, 4:40 left to play here in this first half. Ball spotted, there it is, at the 37-yard line here for Mayfield in Elyria territory. So again, Mayfield starting a drive in Pioneer Land. That'll be the tailback for Mayfield, Ben Corrett, on the carry. He gets his way across the 35-yard line down near that 33, so a pickup of about 5 there for Ben Corrett. And he's, again, been consistent with that. Again, it hasn't had the big explosive run necessarily tonight, but a good, hard, consistent runner, picking up 3, 4, 5 yards at a time. That'll certainly play offensively, right, if you're a no coordinator.
Yeah, just 5'10", 170, but he really runs hard, the senior. He's a junior, but he really runs hard for his size.
So Corrett, he'll get the handoff again here in a little counter play, and Corrett trying to work his way toward the 30. He'll be brought down shy of the 30 as a couple of Pioneers were there to greet him. And who'd we see in on that stop? Parker Osborne, one of the Pioneers there to greet him. Parker Osborne, tell you what, this young man has had an outstanding career here at Elyria. Been a starter pretty much since he joined the program as a freshman. He's held that starting spot since, and really just the kind of kid you want to coach, as Matt Wilson has told me a lot about this young man over the years.
Yeah, really great article in the Chronicle's high school football preview with him and Jackson Goodspeed and kind of their friendship on that offensive line.
Yeah, those two have really carried a load up front for Elyria. Another deep ball here from D'Agostino down the far sideline. It's incomplete over the outstretched arms of Jaden Haynes, as that was Christian Rogers, Mike, stride for stride with him. And that's good, clean defense, and that's the important part there is you're trying to get a stop without, gifting the other side a first down, and Christian Rogers, tremendous effort and coverage there.
Yeah, stride for stride, like you said, by Rogers. He kind of squeezed him out to the sideline, makes for a tough throw for the quarterback, and very good coverage. Now they got to try to finish with this 4th down.
Yeah, 4th and 4. Mayfield will leave the offense on the field. They're at the Pioneer 32, so I think the right decision here. You're too deep to punt it, but you're not trotting your high school field goal kicker out there for a 49-yard line every night, right? So 4th and 4. 4 wide receiver look here for the Wildcats. Correct in the backfield. D'Agostino looking for him. It's caught at the 30, out across the 30. He's stretching for that first down. I don't think he got it, and he's short. He is short. A big-time defensive stand there for the Pioneers. That was great group defensive efforts there by the Pioneers, and good downhill tackling as Correct caught that ball in space. The secondary kind of had to, again, work their way downhill to get to him, and they did just that, stopping him about a yard or so shy of that line to gain a turnover on downs, and a huge stand for the Pioneer defense, giving their offense a chance to score with about 3.5 minutes left to play here in this first half.
Yeah, really good pursuit, like you said, to make an open field tackle, which isn't easy to do, and now Elyria is going empty, no backs in the backfield.
So we've seen that a couple of times here in this second quarter, Mike. Just like you said, an empty backfield look, man in motion here. That's Jacory Bradley. He'll take the jet sweep. Well, Bradley breaks one tackle, trying to squeak through some more, and he's taking some Wildcats along with him. What a run there by Jacory Bradley, and he's going to let some Wildcats hear about it on his way out of that scrum. He gets out across that 35-yard line, so a pickup of about 7 there for Jacory Bradley on the jet sweep. And I'll tell you what, that's another young man with not a whole lot of size to him out there.
Yeah,
he runs hard.
I was going to say, listed at 5'4", 139.
Oh, man.
He really runs hard. He's a tough kid.
I complain about my height sometimes. Man, oh, man. I was also lied to by my primary care physician, said I'd be 6 foot, and a couple of inches shy on that front, my friend. That's all right. 2nd and 3 here. Antonio Pride's looking for a man. It's McCullum. He's got it shy of the 40. He wrestled out of bounds there at about the 39. That's Kingston Murchison. Called his name a lot so far tonight, and we'll call it a lot this. Well, we won't call it a lot this season, but those doing Mayfield Wildcat games will. As that's a first down, though, for the Pioneers. Good pitch and catch there. Antonio Pride finding Tiger McCullum. And I'd like to see a little more of that, I think, Mike. Just the short, easy gains, positive yards.
And a lot of that comes back down to the first down gain, where you were unmanageable, right? It's hard when it's 2nd and 15 and you got these long routes trying to develop. When you stay on schedule, the ball can come out quick and you can make plays.
You can't really run that one on 3rd and long.
Right.
Jacory Bradley looking for the bubble screen here. He's got it off a good pitch from Antonio Pride. Bradley bringing some defenders with him out across the 45, and a flag comes out late. Is that a face mask or a horse collar? Couldn't tell exactly where it was. I think horse collar is where they're grabbing it. No, it's face mask. He did say face mask, so 15-yarder. Goes against the Wildcats, so Elyria, after they move this football, should be into Wildcat territory as well. They'll mark it down right at the 50. So that is where the ball will be spotted. Man, I thought he was a little farther. He got tackled at about the 45, I thought, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they do away with the 5-yard
well, I had him at the 39, so either way, it's
well, whatever.
15 tack on.
1st and 10 here for Elyria at their 50. Pride looking deep down the field. He overshoots his man, and it's intercepted. Antonio Pride looking for Jacory Bradley. The pass a little too tall for him, and that's Vinny Khalil. First time we've called his name tonight. Vinny Khalil, the senior defensive back for Mayfield, making a big-time play for that Wildcat defense. First big mistake we've seen tonight from Antonio Pride.
Yeah, they tried to throw the wheel, like you said, and Khalil's just sitting there and goes up and high points the ball, makes a play, and kind of one you'd like to have back if you're a Pride.
That's one where you want to try to lean on the side of underthrowing him than overthrowing him, because either way, if you lead him too much, he's taking a big hit if he's not getting, intercepted. Bradley, the 5'4" being that he is, just unable to sky to get that one. And now we're going to have a too many men on the field penalty here against Elyria. Did they catch it, though? We had Pioneers trying to run off the field last minute, and I don't know if the officiating crew caught it. And so they'll just let that play stand, I suppose. A pickup of 8 there sets up 2nd and 2 here for the Mayfield offense. So maybe you had guys who didn't need to run off the field. I'm not sure what happened there. That was a bit bizarre.
Yeah, that was bizarre, but that's par for this half, right?
I mean, they've been on top of every single sideline infraction. When you got multiple kids running off the field and nothing gets, flagged, it's, well, yeah, a little bizarre. So DiAgostino takes the shotgun snap here on 2nd and 2. He's looking deep down the field. That one's nearly caught, then nearly intercepted, but falls incomplete. It was through the hands of J.D. Sega, as a couple of Pioneer defensive backs were getting back there. Dolan Melendez, one of them, and what do we got? Another flag.
I just see flags every time, and I see them picked up. We got illegal man downfield.
Illegal man downfield, yeah. Man, oh man. I mean, yeah, this is, it's, the officials are doing their job, right? If they see it, they got to call it. I mean,
players need to execute and adjust.
Right. That is one of my bigger gripes sometimes about fandom at different levels. People say, "Oh, well, this team has so many penalties and this team doesn't," or fouls in basketball or whatever. It's like, well, half the time it's because they're doing it. It's because they're committing the foul or the penalty, right?
Yeah.
So, 2nd and 8 now for Mayfield at their own 38. DiAgostino takes the shotgun snap, looking on the near sideline over the middle. J.D. Sega in and out of the hands as a couple of Pioneers were racing over to lay the smackdown on him. Antonio Pride, one of those flying over, and that's what we call the old hospital ball, I think there, Mike, is DiAgostino. I think he'll learn, hey, maybe don't leave your wide receiver out to dry on a deep ball like that, because if Sega went up and really made the right effort to try to catch that one, he would have been taking a punishing hit, I think, from a couple of different Pioneers.
Yeah, and Elyria's adjusted a little bit with their coverage. I mean, they've had a lot of kids behind them tonight. So they're playing a little softer.
3rd and 8 here. DiAgostino pump fake, steps out of the pressure. Guys chasing him on the far sideline, and he throws it out of bounds. And that one will be incomplete. So 4th down now for Mayfield. I'm assuming they will look to punt this one away with just over 1:30 left to play here in this first half. And that is exactly what they'll do. They'll get the special teams punt unit on the field. So Elyria will get one last crack at trying to score here in this first half. Try to make this a one-possession ball game before they hit the locker room. Of course, we'll have our halftime show. Myself and Mike Rush will talk about this very weird, bizarre first half of action thus far. Maybe we'll show the band some love as well. Who knows what kind of hijinks we'll get into on the halftime show coming in your way in about 90 seconds. Kingston Murchison takes the snap, punches this one away. Fair catch called for by Christian Rogers, and he'll go down to a knee to catch it at the 30-yard line. So that's where the Pioneers will start this possession. 70 yards to try to get down the field, and oh boy, we lost the camera down there. As Pelt, can you give me a little HDMI wiggle down there, my friend? We're good. We're good. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Dave Rydell. I'm very reliant upon you to help me catch those things. So good stuff out of you. So, again, 1st and 10 here for the Pioneers at their own 30-yard line. Still looking for their first touchdown here of the 2025 season. Again, Lex Bruner, the only score doer right now for the Pioneers, a 31-yard field goal late in that first quarter.
Yeah, and another situation here that Elyria can work on, a 2-minute drill here with 1:30 left, and see how they execute.
Pride takes the shotgun snap, looking down that far sideline. Rogers bobbled it, but then caught it. Nice focus by that young man. Christian Rogers able to squeeze it and get the first down. A nice 10-yard gain there for the Pioneers, and a quick Elyria first down here to get this drive rolling. Under 1:20 left to play here in this first half. And again, just the short, easy pitch and catches. Get yourself some positive yardage. They do it on first down. Now you're moving in the right direction. You're on schedule, as you would say up here, Coach. So another 4 wide receiver look. 3 to Pride's right, 1 to his left. Pride looking to step up out of pressure. Avoids one, and now he gets thrown down by a Mayfield defender. That is Gavin Heikala wrestling down Pride. And I do mean wrestled him down. Just torpedoed him down to the turf. And so a big loss there for Antonio Pride. He lost 5 on the sack. Sets up 2nd and 15. Clock running with 45 seconds left to go here in this first half. Elyria with just 1 timeout, so they got to be careful on when they want to use it. Now a long time getting this play call in. We're under 40 seconds left to go, and now I think Elyria is going to – no, we got a down Pioneer.
Yep.
Thank you, Dave. So we got a Pioneer down. Is that Antonio Pride? I think it is. So Antonio Pride down on that far sideline. And, oh boy, looks to be in a little bit of pain. Trainers will work their way out to tend to him. And that is not who you want to see down right now if you're Elyria. You don't want to see anybody down for that matter in week 1, right? You got a whole 9 weeks to go after tonight. But your quarterback, your senior leader, talked a lot about that young man, the different qualities he possesses to really get this program turned back into the right direction where it belongs, where it deserves to be.
Yeah,
that is tough.
Yeah, he's been running around quite a bit tonight. Obviously, called runs. They'll call the run for him in the huddle, but he's also scrambling, and he's a lot of times running around trying to make a play, something out of nothing, and certainly hope he's okay.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, let's see. They look to be getting him up. He'll just sit up, so he might be taking his time. Tell you what, Dave, why don't we step aside, take a quick timeout while they tend to Antonio Pride. We got 38 seconds left to go here in this first half. It'll be a 2nd and 15 for Elyria at their own 35. Our score, Mayfield 14, Elyria 3. We'll be right back.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Radio. Several years you've heard me talk about EcoTree services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted EcoTree. They did an incredible job. The folks at EcoTree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me. When your trees need attention or even require removal, contact EcoTree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find EcoTree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
So after the timeout, Elyria will have a new quarterback here. That's Omari Ford checking in for Antonio Pride, who walked off under his own power, usually a good sign, but moving slowly as he works his way over to the medical tent. So Omari Ford now takes the shotgun snap, quickly delivers that one out to Ja'Cory Bradley. Bradley makes one guy miss and now gets spinned down out across the 40, just shy of the 45. They'll give him the 43 for Ja'Cory Bradley. So a pickup of about 8 will set up a 3rd and 7 situation with 15 seconds now left to play in this first half. Elyria still has a timeout. They'll elect not to use it. We're down to 10 seconds left to go now here in this first half. Not sure what Elyria is doing here. We're down to 5. So this will be the last snap. Ford bobbles the snap. He's just going to fall on it. And that'll be how this first half ends. My goodness gracious. Boy, not sure what exactly went down there unless they don't have the timeouts. But I think, yeah, Dave's got it. Elyria still had that one timeout. Not really sure what happened there. Well, nonetheless, we have reached halftime here at Elyria with our score Mayfield 14, the Pioneers 3. As when we return, we'll take a look back at again, very just bizarre and disjointed first half of play here from Elyria, but one that sees the Wildcats hold an 11-point edge heading into the locker room. Again, our score here at the break at Elyria. It's Mayfield 14, Elyria 3. We'll be right back on the Gridiron Clash here on WEOL.com and on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel.
High school football in Lorain County is all about tradition, pride, and community, and that's what Stewart's Appliance is built on. For generations, Stewart's has been the family-owned appliance store you can count on for quality products and personal service. From refrigerators to washers, ovens to dishwashers, Stewart's has what you need to keep your home running. Proud to support Lorain County and proud to support high school sports. Stewart's Appliance, where community comes first.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down. Or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Recently, we had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
Back here at Elyria as Pelt is continuing to effort the camera down there. Kind of a new situation. There you go, Pelt. Oh, we had it for a second there. There you go. You got it right now, minus the big palm right in the front of the camera, but that's all right. There you go, Pelt. Right there should be good. We are all good. There it is. All right. So big thanks to all the guys here working hard tonight. I'm Rock Anushi. He's Mike Rush to my right. You've heard him on the color commentary. Dave Rydell, producer extraordinaire to my left with Peltomania just below us outside the press box. I do got to give a big shout out to Gary Pelter. He's taking on a new role right now this season, running the camera here for our YouTube game. So a different situation. You normally see him roaming the sidelines, but we're still figuring out a way to do some sideline reports this season if we can figure that out. But again, a big thanks to all of us here all of you guys, I should say, for the hard work and making this thing happen tonight. So again, our score here at the intermission, it is Mayfield 14, Elyria 3, as Mike Rush, I know you're kind of doubling up duties working for the Chronicle Telegram as well tonight. You'll have a nice story in tomorrow's CT about this one. Just kind of curious your thoughts on this one. As a former coach, I always like to kind of get that insight from you. And, I mean, we've talked about it, right? The penalties certainly kind of where you have to start with the conversation from that first half. It was very disjointed, kind of looked like a scrimmage at times, as you said. And I think this is just both sides, and you said it, just a little sloppy here in week one, which you get it, but you definitely want to try to clean it up if you're both sides, right?
Right. Extremely sloppy, like we've said. And to me, I go back to the kinds of penalties, right? Is it pre-snap? Is it something you can control, or is it in the heart of play and it's pass interference or something where you're being aggressive? You can live with those penalties. The pre-snap stuff is tough. Those things need to be cleaned up on both sides, and control what you can control, right? So I think both teams are probably taking a breath in that locker room right now. Obviously, you're making schematical adjustments, but you're kind of just telling your kids, look, if we can get lined up, get our call, and then execute to the best of our ability within the rules, we have a chance, right? Some of it is just like discipline, right? We see a clear hold. Everybody on the field sees it. We have to be disciplined. We have to use proper technique, and we know we can't hold. So, I think both teams are kind of going back to that drawing board and seeing, can we just come out and play clean in this second half, and both teams will have a chance. I mean, again, we kind of lose track of the score here. It's 14-3 because the penalties have kind of taken center stage, but it's the game is in the balance for either team here.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I think I said this at one point in that second quarter. Feels like you're just kind of one big play away on either side from really swinging the momentum one way or another, as Dave Rydell's got some out-of-town scores to pass along. So we'll circle back to some of that first half action. Why don't we pass along some of these out-of-town scores here? Thank you, Dave, for pulling up the app here. So over in Independence, where I do my girls basketball coaching, they are trailing the Columbia Raiders right now. So making a couple of folks in Lorain County happy to see that score. 16-0, Columbia atop the Blue Devils at the half. Down in Columbus, where Elyria Catholic traveled to tonight to take on the Hawks of Bishop Hartley. Not going the way of Coach Chase Ferris's crew right now. They trail in the second quarter, 35-14. Over at Brunswick, our Stream 3 Medina County matchup, a good one here, Michael. At the half, it's Berea Mid-Park with a 14-7 road edge over Brunswick. Quickly on that one, Berea Mid-Park, I talked about this with Jared earlier this week. Kind of one of those schools that, it's not that we don't care about. They're just outside of our coverage area, right? But they're still in that SWC. They play all of our local schools, so, but we never really get a good feel on what they're going to look like coming into any season.
Well, and they're a product of the SWC in that they're much better than their record usually every year. Last year they went to Lorain and upset them in the playoffs. So, again, the SWC, we talked about to Coach Wilson about it. It prepares everybody, and Berea Mid-Park's a product of that.
Yeah, no question. So over at Olmsted Falls, a good one brewing here at the half. Deadlocked at 21 are the Bulldogs and the Cardinals of Menor. I know one of the folks in the one of the higher-ups over at Olmsted Falls. My words are escaping me right now. He tagged Shador Sanders on Twitter because he was at that Avon game last night and said, hey, Shador, why don't you make your way over to Olmsted Falls for another good SWC-related clash? We got Menor coming into town, and boy, he might have been right. That one is living up to the hype. Again, tied are Olmsted Falls and Menor at the half at 21. Lorain at home, they trail Maple Heights 13-14, so kind of an interesting development there. Maple Heights, again, leading Lorain at the half, 14-13. How about this one from Strongsville? Another game deadlocked at 22 this time. Strongsville and Avon Lake unable to decide a favorite after 24 minutes of football action there. How about the Amherst Comets here, Mike Rush, having a time against Sandusky? 35-6. The Comets beating up on Sandusky right now. And I got some more thoughts here on Amherst shortly. Northwestern trailing Keystone right now. The Wildcats on the road at West Salem leading the Huskies 20-0 right now. The Dukes of Wellington in some trouble here at home in the first half. They trail Western Reserve 26-6. North Ridgeville, no big surprise here. They've usually dominated this opener against North Olmsted, and that's the case tonight. They're up 28-0. Our Stream 2 game over in Westlake. The Demons trailing Midvale Fairview right now. The Middies on top by a touchdown, 21-14. That one's live over on WEOL.com. Stream 2. Rob Polinsky, Tommy Evans have the call for you, along with Jared Kozar, our on-site engineer for that one. Over in Lodi, it's Cloverleaf. The Colts trailing Buckeye, I should say, big time. The Bucks on top, 28-0 in that one. Edison right now, the Chargers, probably just too big, too fast, too strong for Firelands. It's always a good program. They lead Firelands 28-0. Down in Stowe, the Bulldogs of Stowe Monroe Falls trailing Medina 14-7 at the half. So Larry Laird and his Bees looking for more success this time around in 2025 compared to 2024. Off to a good start so far. In Erie, the McDowell Trojans welcomed in the Highland Hornets, and well, Highland wasn't giving them a very welcoming visit. They lead 35-0 right now to the Hornets over at McDowell. In Sullivan, Black River right now on the wrong side of this one. Hillsdale leading Black River 35-0. And then again here at the half in Elyria, it is the Pioneers trailing the Mayfield Wildcats 14-3. Dave Rydell, our on-site engineer, producer extraordinaire, passing along those scores for us. Got a couple more here to relay as well. Fairview, my home over there in Fairview Park. Right now, the Warriors leading Clearview 14-6. Cody Kaya, the new head man for Clearview, he's trailing right now in his first contest, and that'll do it for our out-of-town scoreboards thus far. So, Dave, big thanks to you for pulling those up, my friend. And just looking back to this first half of play here at Elyria, Mike, you know, I want to talk about Dario DiAgostino, the freshman quarterback for Mayfield. I mean, I know the offense really slowed down for Mayfield after those first two possessions, but I tell you what, man, back-to-back just beautifully thrown deep balls down the sideline. His receivers, Sega and then Haynes, each made tremendous plays to catch it and then, you know, rack up the yak on their way to the end zone. But really, those plays don't happen without the right protection, and then it just beautifully thrown couple of footballs there by Dario DiAgostino. And we've talked about it. Coach Bandiera said it in the pregame. Doesn't really look or play the part of a freshman quarterback. Obviously, he still is, right? Still has some growing and maturing to do, but I'll take that, right? If you're a head coach for a freshman quarterback, you'll take what you've gotten so far here in week one.
Yeah, I mean, super impressed with him so far. He's taking care of the football. He's thrown a nice deep ball, like you said. I think he's gotten some looks from the Elyria defense that has helped him. Kind of some man coverage looks where he can kind of air it out. But, yeah, certainly a bright future for him and having a great opener, great career opener.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So why don't we do this? Why don't we step aside and take a quick break, and just to save us, you know, some jaw muscle action here, Mike, why don't we turn things over to the Elyria Pioneer Band? They're getting set to hit the field here at halftime. We got about just over 10.5 minutes left to go here in the half. So, Dave, get us a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll get you the Elyria Pioneer Marching Band halftime performance. Get our score here at the break. It's Mayfield 14, Elyria 3. It's the WEOL Gridiron Clash on the new WEOL.com and on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube page.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down, or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
I mean, I can only do 3. Otherwise, I'm repeating somebody. So this is the last one. Mayfield band.
A song that needs no introduction. We hope you enjoy our rendition of Yeah! Tonight's halftime performance is sponsored by Gorman Piedmont LLC. We close our performance this evening with DJ Khaled's 2010 hit, All I Do Is Win.
Well,
How's the experience been over there on the laptop?
unfortunately, nowhere else to plug in to actually use a mouse.
I know, that was one of the issues last night, Jerry, is that we're just like, we can't have a mouse,
Mouse would be nice.
but we want to order like a USB.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we can have. I thought we would have had one at the Chronicle.
I mean, this has ports on it.
Oh.
So I would try it, but yeah, the mouse would be a little, at least for tactile for me, that'd be move, click, rather than trying to,
Would it register the mouse if it was in that thing?
yeah, it would.
Always promoting the pioneer spirit, the Elyria High School Pioneer Marching Band is under the direction of Aaron C. Corca, Adam Barron, Allison Grady, percussion advisor Catherine Green, and majorette coach Heather Heyer. We would like to wish nothing but the very best to the Mayfield Marching Band this school year.
No power.
Yeah, it's probably dead. He left it on. Oh, it says it's ready now.
Yeah, but there's no.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavs. For several years, you've heard me talk about EcoTree services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted EcoTree. They did an incredible job. The folks at EcoTree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me, when your trees need attention or even require removal, contact EcoTree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find EcoTree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
High school football in Lorain County is all about tradition, pride, and community, and that's what Stewart's Appliance is built on. For generations, Stewart's has been the family-owned appliance store you can count on for quality products and personal service. From refrigerators to washers, ovens to dishwashers, Stewart's has what you need to keep your home running. Proud to support Lorain County and proud to support high school sports. Stewart's Appliance, where community comes first.
Back here at Elyria High School, Rakanushi, Michael Rush here with you, Dave Rydell, Gary Pelter, producer and cameraman extraordinaires respectively on that front. Everybody here working hard as at the half, or near the end of halftime here, our score, it is Mayfield 14, Elyria 3, as it will be Elyria starting the second half with the football, so they'll get an early chance to try to make this a one-possession ball game. But before diving into some keys to the second half, Mike, I just want to quickly again thank our sponsors and talk about this new WEOL here in Week 1. Again, big thanks to our sponsors, kind of jumping on board, putting a lot of trust in us with this new product that we're trying to put out there. So Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford, Eco Tree Services, Valley Chevrolet, and our friends at Stewart's TV and Appliance, 468 Cleveland Street right here in Elyria. All four of those folks, or groups of folks I should say, just again really putting a lot of trust into us with this new product. Our first couple of games here on this new WEOL. Again, we got it started last night with the appetizer. I'll bust out my inner Rob Polinsky here. The appetizer before the entree, right? Last night we had St. Ignatius over at Avon, the defending Division II state champs. Mike Elder and his crew had some fun at the expense of the Wildcats, got that big-time Week 1 win. Now they just get to enjoy the rest of their weekend. They get to enjoy Friday night, right? And then our Stream 2 game over at Brookside did not go the way of the Cardinals. I'll tell you what, I was thoroughly impressed with what I saw from the Preppers of University School, a team that, you know, I'm a Walsh Jesuit guy. We'd seen them a couple of times, you know, in my time there, but it was very cool to kind of see what they've been able to do since then. A very strong team, I think, University School has this season in the Preppers. And then tonight, the entree here on the YouTube and WEOL.com and the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. Mayfield visiting Elyria with a 14-3 lead right now. Our Stream 2 game over at Westlake. The Demons trailing Midview right now. Rob Polinsky, Tom Evans, Jared Kozar all have that one for you on Stream 2 over on WEOL.com. And then our Stream 3 Medina County matchup is Berea, Mid-Park, and Brunswick. Michael Keefe, Chad Meyer, as they have for forever, it seems like, get that Medina County matchup on Stream 3. So, again, just quickly want to talk about this new WEOL.com as the teams finish their, post-halftime stretches and everything. So I got it pulled up on my phone right here, right? If you go to WEOL.com, you can see the new layout. And what's nice, and I think we finally got this finalized today, a little redundancy, but right at the top of WEOL.com, you don't have to look far at all to find out where our YouTube game is. And I'll show Mike right here, right at the top. You punch in WEOL.com. You don't even have to scroll. The play button right there, whatever game we have on YouTube for that night, and it'll be, throughout the week once basketball season hits, and then into our spring sports as well. But every Friday night, we got one more Thursday game, but every Friday night, the rest of this high school football season, when you go to WEOL.com, even if you don't know what our scheduled broadcast game was that night, right? No problem. Just go to WEOL.com. Whatever game we have on YouTube is right there at the top of the page. Nice and simple and easy for you. But what if we want Streams 2 and Stream 3, Rocco? What do we do then? Well, I'll tell you, Mike Rush. I'll tell you what we do if you want Streams 2 and Streams 3. You scroll down through these lovely stories that we pull from the Chronicle Telegram, right? So all of our CT writers get their hard work put in here. You'll be making a WEOL.com appearance, right? So that's always good stuff. So
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, all kinds of preview stories here about some of our other teams in action here tonight in Week 1. But once you get to the end of those stories, you'll kind of see the out-of-town scoreboard from across the area, right? But then right below that, you'll find our broadcast schedule. So, for example, tonight you see the Mayfield at Elyria game. You click on that. Nice and simple. Takes you to the Watch Live page where you can click right on the YouTube page. If you click on Midview and Westlake because you want Stream 2, you just click it, pulls up the player, you hit play, boom. You got Rob Polinsky and Tom Evans bringing you high school football from Westlake. And if you want our Medina County matchup on Stream 3 at Brunswick, you want to catch some Berea Mid-Park action against the Big Blue over there at Brunswick, you can do that by clicking right there. You click it, you click the play button, boom, Michael Keefe, Chad Meyer, they're right there in your living room, your car, your radio, wherever. So awesome stuff with this new WEOL.com. Big thanks to the company we were working with to kind of help put this together, and I think it's great. We tried to make it as user-friendly as possible for our fans and listeners, and I think we did just that.
I think even I can figure it out.
Oh, come on. You're Mr. Technical over here. You're the one with your own laptop up here, right?
I dabble. I do what I got to do.
What did you get called last year? Computer boy, I think, was what got murmured.
Yeah, I've been called a lot of things over the years.
We'll try to leave that one alone.
Never been called that, though.
Yeah, right. So that concludes our halftime show. Again, big thanks to all of our sponsors tonight: Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford, EcoTree Services, Valley Chevrolet, and Stewart's TV and Appliance. So Michael Lynn getting set to kick this ball off to start this third quarter of play. A couple of Pioneers back deep to return here for Elyria. Micah runs into this one. It's another short kick, caught at about the 20, and now out across the 25, and it's whistled dead. And what did he call? Fair catch? So that should be a flag then, right? I mean, you can't call for the fair catch and then take off and run it. I think that's what a couple of the Wildcat coaches are asking for over there. Say, hey, man.
A lot of new ways to create penalties tonight. A lot of things you sometimes don't see.
Well, it's amazing to me because we've seen so many flags get thrown, right? I mean, we've talked ad nauseum about that now, but on the two instances where you thought for sure we'd see flags, right? When you got kids running off the field late, just like the most obvious time that there would be a flag, right?
The officials are fatigued.
Right, and then when you get the fair catch and then you take off with it, I don't know. It is what it is, I suppose. No use complaining about it.
Is that Antonio Pride back in as well?
I was going to try to mention that during halftime. What is the status of Antonio Pride? And I think we know. He's in there right now. He'll turn, give to his tailback, and he is stood up in the backfield. And my goodness gracious, how many different white jerseys are in on that one? About 5 or 6 of them. Ball poked free at the end. But they'll rule the ball carrier down, as that was Kyrie Anderson trying to do something with that, but nothing there. He loses 2. Brings up 2nd and 12 now for Elyria at their own 23.
Yeah, and we talked about negative plays, negative situations in the first half for Elyria. It's just hard as a play caller to be able to, stay on schedule. Like we said, when first down, it's negative. It's either a loss or maybe it's a penalty, and right back into a 2nd and 12.
So it is 2nd and 12, as you said, at their own 23 for Elyria. 4 wide receiver look here for Antonio Pride. Jet sweep here to Ja'Cory Bradley. Bradley takes it, squeaks through a couple of defenders, breaks another tackle. Flag gets thrown as Bradley is wrestled down by J.D. Sega at the 35. But let's see who that flag goes against, as the Pioneers are walking back from where they came. So probably a hold against Elyria, and that's exactly what it is. So wipe away the nice gain there by Ja'Cory Bradley. Would have been very close to first down yardage. Might have actually had it. But instead, back up the Pioneers 10 yards. Makes it a 2nd and 22. As this play will be, from their own 13 now. So talked about that a lot in this first half, man. Just getting behind the sticks, something you don't want to make a habit out of.
Well, and it's frustrating. It gets frustrating after a while for anyone rooting for Elyria. You have a positive play, and it comes back on the holding.
So 2nd and 22 now for Elyria. They're at their own 16, they'll call it, on the scoreboard here. Mayfield trying to get their small but mighty student section into it over there. Pride takes the shotgun snap, looking for a man out of the backfield, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Michael Lynn, man, doing a little bit of everything here tonight, huh? Making some good blocks on the offense, making some good plays defensively, as we saw there, and he's doing the kicking off as well. And we got a down Pioneer. Who is that? That is maybe Tiger McCullum. I know he's had the long sleeves on, but I'm not 100% sure if that's him or not, as he seems to be in a little bit of pain. Not sure if he's just cramping up or what. They look to be stretching that leg out, so I try not to play doctor from the press box, right? That's a dangerous game to get into, but yeah, you certainly hope, especially when it's, it's still warm out here in August and even early September, you hope it's just, cramping with the new season and the heat and everything. But I think it is Tiger McCullum, but again, we won't speculate too much, as training staff tends to this young man.
Yeah, getting back to Michael Lynn, like you said, does a little bit of everything. Really the leader of that defense, leader of this team. He's a returning starter, and Coach Bandiera talks about his leadership and certainly his production, and you saw it there with the batted ball.
Yeah, I mean, just the motor it takes to, you're playing offensive line, you're playing defensive line. You think, okay, I get a break finally on kickoff. No, you don't. You got to kick it and then run down to try to make a tackle as well. But I will say, we talk about, you got to beat the kicker, and it's normally not that hard to do necessarily. No, not the case for Michael Lynn. He can certainly hit you if you try to get past him as a return man. So, young man for Elyria still down, being stretched out down there. And I'll tell you what, Dave, why don't you get us a quick timeout, and we will see what we can accomplish here during the break. Again, our score, it is Mayfield 14, Elyria 3 with 10:42 left to go here in this third quarter. It is the WEOL Gridiron Clash on the new WEOL.com and on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Stewart's Appliance. Family owned, locally trusted, and proud to support Lorain County. Whether it's a new fridge, washer, or stove, Stewart's is here for you. Stewart's Appliance, serving families, supporting community.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down. Or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
So again, big thanks to all of our sponsors here tonight. Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford, EcoTree Services, Valley Chevrolet, and Stewart's TV and Appliance right here in Elyria. Young man still down for the Pioneers, as now they will get him up on his feet. And that isn't that 84? I think that is 84. That's Tiger McCullum. Yeah. And he'll walk off under his own power. So again, always a good sign. This was kind of the similar strut that we saw Antonio Pride leave the field with late in that first half. He was slow to get up, but eventually did carry himself off under his own weight. So hopefully a great sign there for the senior Tiger McCollum. I hate injuries of any front, right, after having a couple of leg surgeries myself. But,
Ooh.
yeah, right. But
know that.
especially as a senior in your high school career. You only get to play high school ball once. So hopefully he is A-OK and can enjoy the rest of tonight and the rest of his senior campaign. So here we go, 3rd and 22 after the timeout. Elyria at their own 16-yard line. Antonio Pride takes the snap. He'll check it down quickly to Ja'Cory Bradley. Look at Ja'Cory Bradley get loose. Out across the 25, across the 30, loses his helmet, and then gets thrown down, and he is down across the 30 out towards the 31-yard line. So give him about 15 yards on that one, but still shy of the line to gain. So now Elyria looking at a 4th and 5 situation in their own territory. In all likelihood, they'll have to punt this one away, but I don't see the punt unit trotting out onto that field for Elyria. Looks like head coach Matt Wilson's going to go.
Yeah, and you got to watch the ball here if you're Mayfield. They may be trying to draw him off, maybe take a timeout. We'll see.
So 4 wide receiver set
back
here.
up here.
Well, Antonio Pride just pooped this one away himself. He will. Pride gets it off and away. It's out across the 50, and that one will roll out of bounds in Mayfield territory, right around that 45-yard line, as the young man in the Darius Garland jersey retrieves that football. It's an excellent jersey to sport here.
Yeah, not much of a net there for Elyria on the punt.
Yeah, so they got that one away. Where was that line of scrimmage at, right? Just across the 30, like 31 yards. So, yeah, about 20 yards. They flipped the field.
Right.
Heavy air quotes around flip, but that's okay. And it's a tough ask there for Antonio Pride. Didn't give him a whole lot of room to operate with on that pooch kick. So again, Mayfield will get it. And this is their first drive of the second half. And freshman quarterback Dario D'Agostino back out there with his guys. 2 touchdown passes under his belt already. He'll turn and give to his tailback. That's not correct. Instead, that is Brody Colello. And he picks up decent yardage there, more than decent. That's great yardage. He's got a gain of 9 into Elyria territory down at about the Pioneer 46-yard line. So I believe that's Colello's first touch tonight. Brody Colello, the sophomore, number 44 for Mayfield. Nice pickup there.
And we'll see if Mayfield really tries to establish the run in the second half with, fresh legs with Colello. Really try to grind this game a little bit and keep this clock moving.
We saw a lot of Ben Corrett. We've seen a lot of J.D. Sega, Kingston Murchison, Jaden Haynes, but now Brody Colello getting in on the action, and he'll pick up more great yardage there. He's out across the 40. And, yeah, you guys indicated it. The laundry is back out on the field once again. And let's see who this one goes against. And that's going to be on the Mayfield sideline because they threw it right away, and they're already doing the arm waving with the the arms. And, oh, boy, we got another down Pioneer.
Boy, we know that signal now. In basketball, the flop.
Yeah,
we know
my
that
gosh,
signal.
yeah. That's still one that I think some folks are getting used to. But, yeah, another down Pioneer, another flag getting thrown. And, again, just no momentum being built in this game. Obviously, injuries you can't do much about that. But, yeah, a lot of flags here tonight, no question about that. Maybe more cramping with young man getting his legs stretched out right now.
Rocco, we didn't get a chance to talk at half, but any scores kind of catch your eye, I guess, at half. I know
Right,
that
I-
Amherst Sandusky was a big game tonight. It's over at Avon Lake as the Amherst Stadium gets finished, but kind of an early statement at halftime for Amherst Sandusky, a very good program, very athletic program, and that was one that caught my eye.
Well, I was curious with Amherst this season because you get a new quarterback in Cy Christensen. He transfers over from Clearview, and we've talked about Lorain County League against SWC, and it's just different competition. I hate to go with better or anything like that, but it's just a different set of competition for Cy Christensen, and obviously a non-conference game for him tonight. But hey, so far he's got his team up big time over Sandusky in a home game that's not at home. Right, you're playing that one over at Avon Lake. So a big shout out to the Shoremen right there on the road at Strongsville in a tight one that should be in the second half. But yeah, big shout out to Avon Lake for being gracious enough to host Sandusky and Amherst here tonight. So set to resume here after the timeout. DeAugustino takes a snap, gives it to Colello. He's got room to run. He's out across the 30, up the far sideline, the 20, the 15, and he's ran out of bounds there by a Pioneer defender, and that is another huge pickup for Brody Colello, as he has wasted no time at all making his presence felt here in this second half, as I think that was Springer who ended up forcing him out of bounds there. So Levi Springer playing with that big club on his right hand. I think that's why we really haven't seen him offensively tonight, Mike. It's been a lot of Kyrie Anderson for Elyria in the backfield. Levi Springer sporting that big club on his right arm. DeAugustino takes it, gives it to Colello. Colello a seam up the middle. He's in for 6. Touchdown, Mayfield.
Yeah, and Brody Colello, just a sophomore, 5'8", 170, and he's running hard. He hadn't touched the ball all game, like you said, Rocco, and big holes by that offensive line. And, this is kind of what we saw a little bit last year, where Elyria kind of wears down a little bit. They're losing guys here. And a great drive, kind of like we said, Mayfield established in the run there.
Yeah, that was all the offensive line right there. Colello untouched, and the extra point blocked there by the Pioneers, as that's good defense there by Elyria to save themselves a point defensively. But the damage is done for Mayfield on that drive, as they take a 20-3 lead heading into this timeout. All right, why don't we step aside? Hopefully these spots cooperate with us a little bit, Dave. Nothing you can do if not. But again, with 8:35 left to play here in this third quarter, our score after the Brody Colello touchdown run, it is Mayfield 20, Elyria 3. We'll be back here on WEOL.com and on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Radio Voice. For several years, you've heard me talk about EcoTree services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted EcoTree. They did an incredible job. The folks at EcoTree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me, when your trees need attention or even require removal, contact EcoTree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find EcoTree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
All right, back here at Elyria. Apologies for a couple of technical difficulties there with the spots, but do just really want to thank our sponsors tonight. Again, Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford, EcoTree Services, Valley Chevrolet, Stewart's TV, and Appliance. Figured we may have a couple of technical issues here to start the season with this new setup, but that is our promise to get those ironed out as the season rolls along. I think it's worth it to try to bring these games to you on YouTube, on video, so our loyal listeners and fans can both listen and watch to the high school action here in Lorain County. So 20-3 after the Brody Colello touchdown run. Micah Lynn puts his right foot into this one, and it is retrieved at his own 15 by Ja'Cory Bradley. Bradley with room to run out across the 35, out across the 40, and he's wrestled down there shy of the 45. They'll give him about the 41, 42-yard line. So a nice return there by Ja'Cory Bradley. I tell you what, we've talked about, the stature of that young man, not a physically imposing physique for Ja'Cory Bradley, but man, does he run hard.
Well, and every time he touches the ball, something good happens. So, I'm kind of looking at my stats here, very unofficial. He's got about 7 touches from the line of scrimmage, both receiving, and running with the football. So, got to continue to find ways to get him the ball.
Got to get some points, I think, this drive if you're Elyria. Down 20-3 with 8:28 left to play in this third quarter. So certainly not desperation time by any means. You got a lot of football game left, but, it can get late early, as they say. And that might be the case here for Elyria. So again, 1st and 10 at their own 41-yard line. Antonio Pride, 4 receivers, 1 back out there with them. They go to Ja'Cory Bradley, and he drops it, and he is greeted immediately by Ben Corrett, the running back now turned linebacker defensively, and they kind of had an awkward collision there, but they're both all right. So that pass incomplete. I think Ja'Cory Bradley maybe heard the footsteps of Ben Corrett flying in on him and realized, hey, I'm maybe just better off saving myself a hit here.
But I like the call early on 1st down. Get it out quick. You know, they haven't had a ton of success running the ball inside the tackles, but so that's kind of a glorified run play for them, almost like a sweep, a quick screen, get it out. They just couldn't connect.
Well, this is where you just see that discipline and the execution for Mayfield kicking in, especially with this defensive line. I mean, it's just been nothing easy for Elyria here tonight. They had the one good scoring drive, but that's about it. Antonio Pride looking for Kyrie Anderson out of the backfield. He had him for a second. Now he finds him late, and it's through the hands, and another flag gets thrown late as Antonio Pride had Kyrie Anderson for a second, missed him, and now, oh boy, we got a offensive lineman in some serious pain here for Elyria. And is that Parker Osborne that's down? Oh man, that is, again, on the list of people you do not want to lose if you're Elyria. Parker Osborne, I mean, he might be number 1 on that list, along with, you know, Jackson Goodspeed and your quarterback Antonio Pride, and he is certainly in some pain. Down there is Parker Osborne. So again, just kind of an awkward play there with Antonio Pride rolling out of the pocket. It's been a lot of that tonight, right? Pride under some early pressure. He's got to get out of the pocket. Now your offensive linemen are putting themselves in some positions they're not usually in, and unfortunately that's the kind of thing that can happen sometimes. And so now Parker Osborne, you're just hoping for the best if you're the Pioneer faithful. You know, he's a junior, but again, he's been a starter since his days as a freshman. He's the center on that offensive line. Dave Rydell, you played center back in high school. You know how integral that position is, regardless of your experience, right? Whether you're a freshman or a senior, that starting center is just so important to your offensive line, and for Osborne, even more so important, just his presence as a locker room leader. And boy, oh boy, you just got to try to hope the best for that young man right now. He's clearly in some pain down there.
Yeah, and we talked about trying to change the culture here, and we talked about Antonio Pride, and Osborne's another one. You know, he's kind of the extension of the coach right on the field.
Sure.
Being a center, like you said, kind of a leadership position, and certainly hope he's okay. But again, like you said, a lot of broken plays tonight, a lot of scramble drills, and a lot of guys in some awkward positions sometimes can lead to some injuries.
So Braden Schleimer, I see, number 56, he's taking some warm-up snaps over here on the Elyria sideline, and oh boy, now they're going to get a couple of other Pioneers to go help Parker Osborne off the. I mean, if that doesn't tell you what these kids think about their teammate right there, I mean, you had a host of Pioneers go running over there to make sure that Parker was able to get off the field, and yeah, he is not able to put much weight on that right leg. Oh man, oh man. So thoughts, prayers right now for Parker Osborne. I'm sure they'll check him out pretty immediately over here in the medical tent and get him what he needs. But man, that is a big time loss right now for Elyria if Parker Osborne is unable to go. Again, just a tremendous football player and even better human from what we're told by head coach Matt Wilson. And again, just a great show of camaraderie there by his Pioneer teammates helping him off the field. And again, you just hope for the best for that young man right now. So now if you're Elyria, I mean, attention turns right back towards the game, right? You're down 17, but game's not. You're not out of it.
It's tough too because you were penalized on the play, and you look up and it's 2nd and 20. And you've kind of just been in that position all game. Man.
Yeah.
It's just you look up and it's double sticks, as they say.
Yeah, it's just getting behind the sticks, doubling them, as you said. I mean, that's just they're drive killers. They're drive killers. So I think Braden Schleimer moves over to center. I'm not sure who takes over right tackle duties here for the Pioneers. We'll try to get you that information when we can. But 2nd and 20 now for Elyria at their own 31. Pride takes the shotgun snap. He'll turn. He'll give to the tailback, Kyrie Anderson. Anderson making some moves out across the 40. The ball pops out late. The ball pops out, and what's the ruling here? They'll say he was down. The trail official there, or I'm sorry, I don't know the officials' positions. I'm not even going to pretend to know, but he came sprinting in and marked him down. So a potential turnover there for the Pioneers actually ends up just being a nice solid gain there. 3rd and 5 now the situation after a huge pickup there for Anderson. Nice run there.
Yeah, hit him with the draw play there and looked like he was down. So Pioneers get back to manageable here and see if they can pick this up. and keep their march alive.
3rd and 6 at their own 44. 4 wide receiver set here for Antonio Pride, 2 on either side, a tailback on his right hip. Pride awaiting that shotgun snap. Now he gets it. He'll turn. He'll give to the back. No, he'll keep it himself on the read option, and he gets stood up by a host of Mayfield Wildcats. A couple of different white jerseys in there. Anderson Ekstrand, one of the first to greet him. And a couple of other white jerseys being pulled off that pile. You see John Harris in there. And coming in from the secondary, I think that's Frankie Menta from that safety, that outside linebacker spot. He came sprinting in as well to help make that tackle. So a true gang tackle, as they call it there.
And you talked about discipline earlier from Mayfield's defense, and you saw it there. Their number one objective is to stop Pride. So they didn't get caught up in the misdirection there. They could have followed the back. They stayed disciplined. They read their keys and took them right to the ball.
Yeah, Matt Wilson told me earlier this week it's not a team that's going to beat themselves, and we're seeing that on display here. Pride here on 4th down, takes the shotgun snap, under some pressure, steps up to avoid it, rolling out to his right, looks downfield, and he's nearly intercepted, but it falls incomplete. It's a turnover on downs anyways, but that was Kingston Murchison, who may have had some room to run if he caught that one cleanly. Pride looking for a receiver late, unable to hit him, and a turnover on downs gives the football right back to Mayfield, already in Elyria territory. So I think the right call there, Mike, for Elyria to try to go for it on 4th down. The defense, you're getting worn down a little bit. We saw that on the last drive as Colello had his way on the ground. So just trying to get a spark going offensively, it just didn't work out there.
Yeah, I mean, you're running out of possessions, and, it's a good decision to make. And the problem is now, Mayfield's going to go back to this ground game and with Corrett or Colello, whoever it is, and try to grind the game even more.
So 1st and 10 for Mayfield at the Pioneer 44. DiAugustino, the freshman quarterback, takes it. He'll hand it off to Corrett, who's back in there at running back for Mayfield, but he doesn't have a whole lot of room to run there as he is met pretty immediately right near that line of scrimmage. It was Jackson Goodspeed who made his way in on the stop, so a pickup of nothing really there for Corrett. 2nd and 10 they'll call it, still at the Pioneer 44-yard line. So finally got to see a little bit of Brody Colello that last drive, and they immediately say, all right, that's enough. Back to Ben Corrett we go.
Yeah, go back to the fresh legs, I guess. Keep those guys fresh, and maybe we'll see Brody a little bit later.
A couple of extra tight ends here on that offensive line. Look at all those guys up front. They'll send 2 wide receivers deep. Look at all the Pioneers back in coverage. They still might have a man in Sega. They do. Sega catches it at the 10. Touchdown Mayfield. My goodness gracious. J.D. Sega having a time right now with the Elyria secondary. And what do we have here? A whistle immediately after the touchdown. And ineligible man downfield. A flag goes against Mayfield. And that's... Man, Mike, that's almost hard to believe because they dropped what? If you ran 2 out there, you had 1. There was 8 guys helping protect the freshman quarterback, Dario DiAugustino, and somehow, some way, one of them ended up downfield.
Yeah.
Man.
It's been the story of the game here.
Yeah, no
Takes
kidding.
away a huge play. Another, example of somebody behind the Elyria secondary. And
yeah, I'm not sure if that's a communication issue or a pre-snap thing or what, but you figure you got that many guys in coverage against just 2 receivers, basically running a go and then a post.
Right.
You think you'd be able to handle it, but Sega, man, he got behind him. Fortunately for the Pioneers, an ineligible man downfield penalty wipes it away. Another give here to Corrett. He gets maybe 1 back to the 48-yard line, so that'll bring up a 3rd and long now for the Wildcat offense. And I'll tell you what, the Pioneer defense, they've been able to get off the field on most of these occasions. I know last drive they kind of had it run down their throat a little bit, but they've put themselves in good opportunities to get off the field with some of these 2nd or 3rd and long situations.
And Elyria's got to play complementary football. Their offense is not helping their defense with field position.
Mm-hmm.
So, they put in some bad situations, and they're doing the best they can.
So 3rd and 15 here. DiAugustino, deep drop back. He's going deep downfield, a jump ball, and that one is caught. My gosh, Kingston Murchison making the catch. Oh, my goodness. That ball was over the head of, I think, the intended receiver, J.D. Sega, as it was a true jump ball. You had Sega go up for it. A couple of Pioneer secondary members going for it, but Murchison, the one that ends up winning that jump ball battle, he picks up huge yardage now at the Pioneer 22.
Yeah, and that's just a case of you got to go make a play on the ball. Ball's in the air. You know, it's not the intended receiver. You got to go make a play instead of watching Murchison make the play.
So a lot of trust there for DiAgostino going to his wide receiver. Counter run here to Corrette. He makes his way up the gut for a couple of yards, but an illegal formation or illegal procedure, rather, will wipe that one away. So back the Wildcats up 5 more yards. Man, oh man, yeah, just one step forward, 2 steps back, it seems like, for these offenses at times. But Mayfield obviously has done enough tonight to build this 20-3 lead.
Certainly going to have a lot of film to watch tomorrow for both sides.
Man, oh man. Don't want to be in on that one.
Yeah, you're going to have to clip it. You're not going to have enough time to watch all this.
Yeah, how much sleep do you get as a coach after a night like this? Probably not much.
A lot.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 hours.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So 1st and 15 now at the Pioneer 27. Free rusher comes through. That's Kyrie Anderson trying to get after the quarterback, DiAgostino, who wisely throws this one away. And now Anderson a little slow coming up after that play. He's going to favor one of those legs a little bit, but now he's fine walking back to the defensive huddle. So 2nd and 15 it'll be now for Mayfield, as again Kyrie Anderson came screaming off that near edge. Nobody touched him, so maybe just a miscommunication there with the blocking. And DiAgostino had to throw that one away. Jackson Goodspeed jogs off to get a quick breather. Again, 2nd and 15 now for Mayfield at the Pioneer 27.
We talked about Elyria's non-conference schedule. Play their rival next week with Lorraine and then play Brunswick. So,
yeah, no breaks this year for Elyria, no question about that. There's Colello back into the ball game, and another flag comes flying in. Colello off that left tackle got his way near the 25-yard line. So as it stands, it'd be a gain of about 1.5, maybe 2. But again, a flag, I think, will bring this one right back. It sure will. A holding penalty goes against the Mayfield Wildcats. Well, I'll tell you what, again, referencing our pregame interviews, Matt Wilson was just very complimentary of Mayfield and Coach Ross Bandiera, talking about how disciplined his kids are, how they're not going to beat themselves. Well, if Elyria had any semblance of an offense here tonight, Mayfield would very much be beating themselves in a number of instances right now. But I guess the good thing for the Wildcat faithful, Elyria is doing the very same thing when they get on offense. Just really some mindless penalties. The holdings have been a bit much. A bunch of illegal formations, delay of games, all that.
And I feel like the big play is the difference in the game.
DiAgostino, the freshman, big drop back here, looking deep down the field. He's going to go long for his receiver. Jump ball is up and knocked away by the safety there, as that ball was intended for Jaden Haynes.
And there you see, you know, go make a play in the air and go play the ball and be aggressive and attack the ball. And they were able to break it up.
Aaron Ensign, the cornerback, actually deep in coverage on that one. A nice play by Aaron Ensign. They got him listed at 5'7", $135, but he played bigger than that on that occasion, and he needed to, as Jaden Haynes at 6'3", he's got about a half foot over him, if not more than that actually. And now Colello gets it on the give, and he's got nowhere to go. That one is blown up immediately. And how about the clubbed wonder himself for Elyria, Levi Springer, making the play. It'll set up a 4th and, well, very long here for Mayfield, 25 to be exact, at the Pioneer 37. And we'll see Kingston Murchison trot back on, which means Mayfield will punt this football away. Just trying to pin Elyria deep, and, well, with their offensive woes tonight, I think that's a good decision by head coach Ross Bandiera.
Absolutely, yeah. See if they can pin them. They do this shift every time they punt, make Elyria align to it.
Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't even caught on that. It's a good catch by you, Coach, and, oh, boy, another whistle. And
it's going to be?
What do we got here, a timeout?
No, it's offsides.
Is it offsides? Okay.
Elyria. Move it up.
Man, oh, man, that's just... Does getting rid of that 1 week of the preseason really do that much?
No,
I
was just using that as an excuse for a while. Now that's run its course. This is just plain sloppy.
Now it's fair enough.
Can only get so much mileage out of that.
Right. 4th and 20 now here for Mayfield at the Elyria 37. So shorter field here for Murchison to try to pin Elyria deep. That one's away, and that one will roll inside the 5 and into the end zone for a touchback. Good decision there by Rogers back deep to return that one, and maybe got a little too close to it for some of his coach's likings, but nonetheless, it does roll into the end zone for a touchback. So Elyria down 17, 2:46 left to play in this third quarter. Again, you're not totally out of it, but you hit the nail on the head, my friend. You're starting to run out of possessions, and this one really feels like a drive where I don't even think a field goal cuts it. That makes it a 14-point game. It's 2 possessions no matter how you score it, but it really feels like you need to try to get into the end zone here this drive.
Yeah, and again, Mayfield's really taking away the vertical pass game and really making Elyria drive the length of the field without making a mistake, which is hard to do for any high school football team. So they're playing these 2 deep safeties, and, Elyria comes out and empty.
So Antonio Pride, 5 wide receiver set, as you said, Mike, empty set. And missing his receiver is Antonio Pride, who is just in front or out of the outstretched arms. That's number 11. That is Asa Brown, the senior receiver, 6'1", $165. Asa Brown, unable to haul that one in. Pelt, I'll just go ahead and can you give me a quick HDMI wiggle there, my friend? Apologies. I know we're asking you to do quite a lot on that front. So hopefully it gets rid of that green bar for us there on the left side of that screen. I guess not the end of the world if we can't, but maybe we'll wait till a timeout to see if we can get to that. 2nd and 10 here for Elyria at their own 20. Another empty set, 5 wide receiver bunch. Pride looking for a man. It's Jacory Bradley out across the 25. Bradley running hard across the 30. Spun down by a defender across that 30-yard line at about the 32 is where he'll get. So a nice catch and run there by Jacory Bradley. As you said it, Mike, I mean, when the ball finds his hands, good things tend to happen, and it does there. Another first down for the Pioneers. Now they got this drive moving in the right direction as this third quarter clock trickles under 2.5 minutes. Now a little tempo here from the Pioneer offense, moving a little quicker. I thought we might see some of this earlier given their offensive struggles. Just speed up that defense a little bit, see if you can coax them into making a mistake. Pride again, he's going to find Bradley right back to his favorite target. Bradley across the 35, shy of the 40. They'll give him the 37.5. So a pickup of about 5 or 6 there for Jacory Bradley. Sets up 2nd and 4 on schedule, as you would say, Mike,
right.
are the
And
Pioneers.
Again, just getting it out quick, letting the playmakers play. They like this empty set right now. They're sticking with it, making Mayfield adjust to it.
2nd and 4 at the 37-yard line. Pride again, empty set here. We might see more of that here the rest of this game. He'll quickly go to Asa Brown. Brown looking to break a tackle, does so, but now a host of Wildcats will come in and finish the hit, and they will bring him down quickly, shy of the 40. They'll maybe give him the... Oh, no, they won't give him anything on that one. Right back to that line of scrimmage. So 3rd and 4 now here for Elyria.
And the flip side is if you're Mayfield, you're fine. No big plays, tackle up. If they want to throw quick screens down the entire field, I mean, make them do it. And, don't give them the big play. Don't miss an open field tackle and live to play the next play.
Pelt, we might need a total HDMI reboot there. We got a black screen up here, so we'll have to go radio mode for you. Pride here on 3rd and 4 takes the shotgun snap, and he's got room to run across the 50. Out near the Mayfield 45. All good, Pelt. There we go as Antonio Pride making his way out into Mayfield territory, as that's a nice pickup there for Antonio Pride. Give him about 18 on the pickup. And so a very nice gain there for Antonio Pride. And, we lost the camera. Oh, there we go. All right.
Biggest run of the night for Elyria.
They certainly needed it, as we're down to 1:02 left to play here in this third quarter. Again, Elyria not huddling. As lost the screen again. Antonio Pride in the shotgun snap. 5 wide receiver set. No one in the backfield with him. Pride looking for a man. And, oh, boy, I think Jacory Bradley and his fellow receiver got their wires crossed out. There's a lot of contact there between the defenders and those wide receivers. There we go. Now we got the screen back. So, sets up 2nd and 10 here for Elyria at their own 44-yard line. 58 seconds left to play here in this third quarter. 5 wide receiver set, empty backfield here for Antonio Pride. Again, without Parker Osborne is that Elyria offensive line, so they've got their work cut out for them to try to keep Pride standing upright. Pride looking to escape pressure and gets run out of bounds, and he'll end up taking a loss there. Would have been better off just throwing that football away. But Antonio Pride runs himself out of bounds 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so a loss of 2 will set up 3rd and 12 now for Elyria at the Mayfield 47-yard line.
Yeah, and it's just tough to ask this Elyria offensive line to protect for these vertical routes. It breaks down quick. Obviously, we know Osborne's out, So, we'll see here at 3rd and 12 if they can get it out quick, maybe let a playmaker make a play in space. We'll see.
You don't need all of it back right here. I'm certainly thinking it's 4-down territory here for Elyria. As here comes Ja'Cory Bradley on the jet sweep. Bradley with a couple of blockers in front of him tries to squeak through a lane, and he gets wrestled down across the 45, shy of the 40. They'll say he got to the 42, so that'll set up about 4th and we'll say 8 here for the Pioneer offense. So a little more manageable. And oh boy, now we got another down Wildcat this time. I think that's Ben Corrett who's down, and it's usually pretty obvious with him given the nice neon cleats and gloves that the young man is sporting, and hopefully again just a cramp, as we've seen that a couple of times with the trainer stretching out the legs and everything. So 30 seconds left to play here in this 3rd quarter. 4th and 8 for Elyria at the Mayfield 47. Again, they trail Mayfield, does Elyria right now, 20-3. Our score is. Why don't we quickly take a look at some out-of-town scores over in Independence. The Blue Devils getting beat up on by Columbia, the Raiders, with a 29-0 lead over Indy in the 4th quarter. Bishop Hartley still leading Elyria Catholic, but that gap has since closed. It was 35-0. It was 35 to. Yeah, it was 35 to not much. Now it's 35-21. Elyria Catholic climbing back into that one. Clearview still trailing Fairview on the road in Fairview, 21-12. Your score there. Lorraine down against Maple Heights, still 14-13. The last score I see from that one. North Ridgeville up big over North Olmsted, 35-0 in the 3rd quarter. Wycliffe beating up on Oberlin, 41-0. And how about Avon Lake over in Strongsville, 36-22. The Shoremen on top of the Mustangs. We'll get some more scores to you as soon as we can. So 4th down and 8 here for Elyria. 5 wide receiver set here for the Pioneers. Man moving across, or flipping formations here. Another man in motion here is Asa Brown. Snap goes to Antonio Pride. Pride stepping up in the pocket. Flag gets thrown. Pride still on the run. He's across the 35, now the 30, the 25. Pride picks up the 1st down, but I have doubts that this one will stand as a flag is thrown in the backfield, and it's a holding, as we saw the official indicate towards one of the other officials, and that's exactly what it is. A hold will go against the Pioneers, so wipe away what would have been a 1st down run for Antonio Pride there, Mike. Instead, back up the Pioneers 10 yards.
Yeah, and Antonio Pride, he plays with just that, a lot of pride, toughness, grit. He's battling. He's trying to do what he can, and there's a saying they can call holding on every play. Well, they have.
Yeah, well, yeah. Don't tempt
Here
these
we
guys.
are.
I'll tell you, don't tempt these officials. I'll tell you that much. And I'm not trying to pick on them. It's one of those things where you got to throw the flag if you see it.
There's
right?
probably been a few that I've seen that haven't been called tonight. So
And I'd be willing to bet there was some sort of emphasis in terms of
Especially
call
first
this a little
week.
tighter
Yeah.
or whatever, right? We've seen that in different leagues. The NBA always has something that we're watching the flops this year, we're watching the carries this year, and they never do. It always goes back to the way it was, but it is what it is. So 4th and 18. Now Elyria will elect to punt. Lex Bruner is on to kick this one away. Try to flip the field here for this Pioneer defense. Bruner does just that. It's a sidewinding kick that's fielded about the 15, up across the 25 is the return man for Mayfield. I believe that was Sega who returned that one. And so that is where Mayfield will start this drive. So 20-3 our score remains. 1:16 left to play here in this 3rd quarter. Pioneer defense in desperate need of a stop here. As this Mayfield offense, they've had their struggles, but they've made enough plays to build this lead, mainly the 2 early touchdown passes from freshman quarterback Dario D'Agostino. The first one to J.D. Sega, the next to Jaden Haynes. And it was Brody Colello with the touchdown run to give Mayfield this 20-3 edge. So here comes Dario D'Agostino and his offensive mates starting this drive at their 28-yard line. Brody Colello back into the ball game alongside D'Agostino in the backfield. D'Agostino takes the shotgun snap, rolling to his right, throws to the right sideline. That ball is caught. Nice catch there by number 27. That is Danny D'Agostino. Little Bro finding Big Bro on the out route there. And a nice route that was. Just got his way, worked the leverage against the secondary, got himself toward the sideline, made the nice sure-handed catch, and a pickup of, where did they start at, the 28?
21, yeah,
21-yard gain there for Danny D'Agostino from younger brother Dario D'Agostino.
Well, and you talk about a freshman. I mean, that's a heck of a throw for anybody.
It's a long out route you're throwing there.
And then his brother does a great job of catching it with his hands, doesn't let it get into his body.
Sure, they've had some practice over the years hooking up, right? Brody Colello takes the handoff right back up the middle, and he's wrestled down at about the 45-yard line. And that is how this third quarter will come to a close. Our score after 3 here on the Gridiron Clash, it is Mayfield 20, Elyria 3. We'll be right back on the all-new, brand-new WEOL.com, and you can watch us live right here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavs. For several years, you've heard me talk about EcoTree services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted EcoTree. They did an incredible job. The folks at EcoTree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me. When your trees need attention or even require removal, contact EcoTree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find EcoTree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Stewart's Appliance. Family owned, locally trusted, and proud to support Lorain County. Whether it's a new fridge, washer, or stove, Stewart's is here for you. Stewart's Appliance, serving families, supporting community.
Back here at Elyria, start of the fourth quarter. Mayfield with the football, 2nd and 5 at the Pioneer 46-yard line. The freshman DiAgostino takes the shotgun snap. He's looking deep down the field. This ball is intercepted by Elyria. Interception for the Pioneers, as that was Aaron Ensign stepping in the way of that pass. That was well over the head of the intended receiver, Danny DiAgostino. That's not what they practiced in the DiAgostino backyard, but that's what they practiced in the Ensign backyard. Aaron Ensign making a nice play on that football. An interception for this Pioneer defense, and hey, something to cheer about here for the Pioneer faithful in the second half. Maybe that's the kind of juice, the spark you need to start mounting this comeback.
Yeah, overthrown ball, but nice play by Ensign and able to make a play, and you know, you still got a quarter to go, so you know, we got to see, can Elyria get a big play, and you know, Mayfield, you're content making them drive the length of the field and chewing clock, you know, with your defense.
And I think when head coach of Mayfield, Ross Bandiera, has to remind folks, hey, my freshman, as good as he is, you know, he's still a freshman.
Sure.
It's those moments right there that make him say that, right? But that's a mistake that young man will learn from, no question. Here comes Antonio Pride, the senior quarterback for Elyria. Good to see him back into this ballgame after that late first half injury. He's looking down that far sideline. Pass is caught by the receiver, but well out of bounds, so that'll be a 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Those long out routes, man, I mean, they're tough at any level of football, you know, NFL, college,
right.
all that. Very much a difficult throw for high school kids to try to make on a consistent basis.
Yeah, and good job by Mayfield adjusting, kind of sitting on that quick throw, kind of anticipating it and making Pride flush himself and throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, they're definitely cheating inside and on the short stuff right now, I think, making Antonio Pride try to beat them with the deep ball towards the sidelines, and those are the tougher throws to make. Another 5-wide set here for Elyria. Pride looking towards that far sideline. He's got a man across the middle. That's Tiger McCullum. McCullum makes one guy miss, makes another miss. He's out across the 30, past the 30 to the 31. And that is a nice catch there by Tiger McCullum, number 84. Another young man. Good to see he's still up and active here in this ball game. He was cramping up or something earlier. Had to get some help off the field. But nice play there by that young man. Nice throw by Antonio Pride. And a first down here for the Pioneers at their own 31-yard line.
Yeah, they've had nice success with those little spot routes or those curls, kind of sitting down, and Pride throws a nice ball. McCollum's able to make a play.
So another empty set here for Antonio Pride. They've pretty much gone to that exclusively here in this second half, down 17. Pride looking for a man. Well covered right now by Mayfield. Pride still keeping those eyes downfield. Now he'll take off and run, and he's shoved out of bounds just across that 35-yard line, or maybe just shy. They'll actually mark him out at the 33. So what I thought might have been a 5-yard gain or so. It was actually just a pickup of about 2 there for Antonio Pride. Set up 2nd and 8. Antonio Pride, I mean, you said it. A lot of running around tonight for him, and something that, you know, I don't want to say he's got to be careful with that, but you got 9 more weeks of football to play.
I think
that's a hard style to sustain.
I think where you have to be careful is the coaching staff. It's hard to call a lot of design runs when you know you need him, and he's already running around so much just trying to in the passing game.
Pride looking for a quick hitter here. He's got a man, and that's Asa Brown. Asa Brown, and maybe a late hit. Yes, sir. Big time late hit there, as a couple of Wildcats were eager to get some contact there with Asa Brown, but unfortunately for them, they did so after he had already stepped out of bounds. I thought he was pretty well out of bounds by the time he got hit there. So Asa Brown taking some punishment, but he earns a first down for his team for that punishment. So now the Pioneers really on the move up near midfield. They'll mark this one at their own 49-yard line. So you got some good pace to this drive, I think, if you're Elyria, but you definitely want to try to get it into the end zone here sooner rather than later, down 3 possessions still.
What's the over-under on penalty yards combined?
Not a gambling man, and I don't think that's an area where I'd want to start here tonight.
I have a number, but
do you really?
I have a thought. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't have the official.
The unofficial.
Yes.
We always got unofficial numbers. Asa Brown in motion. They don't give it to him. Pride takes it on the drop back, makes a man miss. Nice move there in the backfield by Pride. Now he's got to try to get rid of it, and he does so. Tiger McCullum coming back to the football. Nice play by that young man to pick up what he could. That's a gain of about 4 there for Tiger McCullum, and a nice play by Antonio Pride, just to keep things alive. And that's the senior experience right there, right? I know he'd been kind of thrusted into this quarterback position late last season, but really doing a nice job of keeping the eyes downfield, and it's a good play by your wide receiver. Too, and Tiger McCullum.
Correct.
Knowing where your quarterback is.
In the scramble drill, right? If you're deep, you got to come back. If you're short, you got to go long.
Right.
And he was able to do it.
So nice play there by Tiger McCullum. 2nd and 6 now for Elyria into Mayfield territory at the Wildcat 47. 5 wide receiver set again. Empty backfield. Pride loses it on the snap, corrals it. Now has to try to get away from pressure, and he can't do it. And he is thrown down inside his own 45-yard line. Now he's a little slow to get up. That was a big-time hit there by the Mayfield defense. A couple of different hats on the ball there. I think Luciano Trasic was one of those in there to greet him. But Antonio Pride took some big-time punishment on that sack. And that all started with the bobbled snap, maybe the lack of Parker Osborne factor playing into that one.
Yeah, and again, it's just another negative play. I've got Pride 5, 6 negative rushes tonight, whether it's a scramble, a sack, however you want to say it. So
now another empty set here. 3rd and 15 now for the Pioneers. Pride catches the low snap, looking for Asa Brown. He's got him, and Brown just couldn't catch it cleanly. Dropped down to a knee to try to make the catch, but it wouldn't have mattered. He'd be down anyways, given the high school rules. So I think they just called it incomplete, and they do. So 4th and 15 now for Elyria at their own 43-yard line. Let's see what head coach Matt Wilson tries to dial up here. Again, 20-3 our score. Mayfield in front of Elyria. 9:53 left to go in this ball game.
Of course, Coach Wilson, no stranger to Lorain County, formerly the head coach at Clearview.
That's right.
Went over to Berea, and then when Berea and Mid-Park merged, he became the defensive coordinator. So
he's seen some different situations.
He's been in some different situations, correct.
Pride here on 4th and 15, looking downfield, steps up to avoid pressure. Flag gets thrown, so it's probably coming back no matter what happens here. And now Pride finally gets spun down around midfield. So it'll be a turnover on downs if this flag goes against Elyria. And it looks like that will be the case as the Pioneer offense will trot off. It is a holding call. It is declined by Mayfield, obviously. So turnover on downs gives it back to the Wildcats, and they already have a 17-point lead with 9:44 left to go in this ball game. Time starting to run out here on the Pioneers in week 1.
Yeah, and I think if you're Mayfield, you're kind of in a time and score situation now. You're not going to put the ball up in the air if you don't absolutely have to. Try to grind this clock. It looks like Colello's back in. He's kind of got some fresher legs, and I'm sure they'll try to lean on him here.
Yeah, Brody Colello, 5'8", $170, the sophomore, kind of like a little bowling ball out there. He'll take the snap here on the draw, right back up the middle, breaks one tackle. Look at him dragging Pioneers with him out across midfield. He'll get down to about the 47-yard line or so, will Brody Colello. So, we talked about Ja'Cory Bradley for Elyria, how hard that young man's been running tonight. Well, how about Brody Colello for Mayfield, Mike? That young man, anytime he's touched the rock, there seems to be some good things happening.
Keeping his legs moving, and it's very hard to get him down after first contact, and really got to gang tackle him.
And you got to shout out that Mayfield offensive line. Again, Luciano Trasic up there, Sam Weintraub on the left side, Michael Fapiano, the center. On the right side, you got Micah Lynn and Ethan Claflin. I mean, they have just really helped pave the way for a successful Mayfield rushing attack here tonight. On the driver, Colello scored on the ground. I mean, my goodness, they had anything they wanted. A little counter here, right back to Colello. Look at the big fellows up front paving the way again. Colello room to run, and he's out across the line to gain. That was the 40. He got to the 39, did Brody Colello, so that'll give Mayfield another first down. And just like you said, Mike, I don't think we're going to see Mayfield put this football in the air very much, if at all, the rest of the way. They would just like to see that final 8:35 come off that clock.
And, you know, Mayfield, again, Division II program, very proud program. Coach Bandiera, I think this is his 11th year. And
yeah, about that.
You know, very well-established program and playing a tough league as well.
Play a very consistent brand of football is what head coach for Elyria, Matt Wilson, told me on the phone earlier this week. And, oh, boy, another down Pioneer here, as that was a gain of about 1 there for Brody Color. Maybe lost a yard, actually. I'm sorry. Thank you, Dave. But, yeah, another injured Pioneer here. And maybe it's just a cramp. He hit the ground pretty hard, so I'm assuming that was just one of those sneak up on you cramps that, that pretty much that's what happens. You got to just kind of fall and just start stretching what you can, right?
Yeah, funny, you know, Mayfield stays in Elyria. They host Elyria Catholic next week, Mayfield versus Elyria Catholic.
That's right.
They did that last year as well. I think they beat EC last year in a shootout. I
think you're correct.
At EC, so they're kind of getting the Elyria tour, and then they'll get into Western Reserve Conference play week 6, and they're on the move next year. They're headed to the Suburban League. So
is that where they're headed to?
Can you keep up with all the conference realignment?
No,
Rocco?
I thought I just had to do that with college sports.
I didn't think that would be. How many teams are in the Chagrin Valley now? About 50.
Oh my gosh!
I think there's 29.
Yeah, no, it is.
What is it? 4 divisions?
4 divisions. It's
25
29. Plus. Yeah, I mean.
I think next year maybe there's more going in next year because the Western Reserve's breaking up.
Yeah, that's an interesting conference, right? Because you got these guys in Mayfield. You got East Lake North. You got Willoughby South. You got, is it Kenston is in that, right?
Kenston. I think
Chardon
Kenston's
in
going
that
with
Western
them.
Reserve?
I think Kenston is going with them next year to the Suburban. To the Suburban League. There's only 6 teams in the league.
Yeah, it wasn't very many.
Yeah, Willoughby South, Riverside,
that's who I was.
Chardon, Kenston, and North.
Well, and it's weird Harvey's on it because you got 2 schools from Paynesville that are in the same conference.
Yeah.
But I guess that's not totally foreign, right? Here in Elyria, I know it's kind of different with EC and Elyria, but they're not the same conference, obviously. So
yeah, definitely hard to keep track of these days if you're a high school sports fan.
Kyrie Anderson was the down Pioneer there. He seems to be all right, though, walking off under his own power, and he's been working pretty hard here tonight, so I imagine those muscles are wanting to break and some cramp in there. So 2nd and 11 now here for Mayfield. DiAgostino's going to put this one in the air. That one's caught by his receiver, Sega. Sega out across the 40, and he's run out of bounds right near that original line of scrimmage. So a gain of 1 there for J.D. Sega. And the downside for that for Mayfield is you stop the clock with 8:01 left to play here in this 4th quarter. Now a 3rd and 9, they'll call it, situation here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, of course, Sega got the scoring started tonight with a 67-yard catch for a TD early on, which seems like eons ago, Rocco.
Yeah, what a 67-yard strike, and then what a 49-yard strike from DiAgostino to Haynes. So Colello takes this handoff right back up the middle. Look at that hole for Colello, out across the 30, up near the 25, just shy near that 26-yard line, as Brody Colello just continues to punish the interior of that Pioneer defense. He has been running hard here in this second half. No question about that. Is Brody Colello picks up another 1st down.
Yeah, and this is kind of the offensive line dream, right? We talked about the defensive line dream. You made a good interception on a screen. Well, offensive line dream is you're up big, late, and you know you're going to run the ball. Everybody knows you're going to run it, and you keep going.
Well, they've kept it between the tackles most of the time here tonight, so they're really having a way with that interior of that Pioneer defense. No Parker Osborne on the defensive line either for Elyria, so that certainly does not help, as here's another carry here for Mayfield. That's Colello again. This time he's out across the 25 near the 23-yard line, so a gain of about 6 there for Brody Colello. Sets up 2nd and 4. Under 7.5 left to play here in this 4th quarter. Mayfield trying to deliver what would be the knockout punch here if they can find pay dirt on this drive. Pioneer defense just trying to find a way to make a stand, make something happen, because you're really running out of time now. Under 7 to go here in this 4th quarter. Mayfield will take their time breaking the huddle. 2 wide receivers set here. A couple of tight ends on that line of scrimmage. One goes in motion across the line of scrimmage. Snap goes to DiAgostino. Counter here to Colello, and he's wrapped up immediately in the backfield. Good defense there by Elyria, as that is Amari Ford coming in to make the stop. Ford holding that left arm a little bit after the stop, so not sure if he pulled something or something didn't get turned the right way or what. He says, no, I don't need a sub, coach. I'm all right. Just let me Give me a minute here, all right, and I'll be all right. So nice play there by Omari to stop Colello, a task that's certainly easier said than done here tonight. But that sets up a 3rd and 6 now for Mayfield at the Pioneer 24-yard line. 4 wide receiver set here, 3 to DeAugustino's left, 1 to his right. Colello in the backfield with him. DeAugustino takes the shotgun snap. He'll look to throw. He'll roll right, looking downfield near the sideline, and that ball is incomplete. Nearly caught by the receiver, Jaden Haynes. He's looked his way a lot, has DeAugustino towards Haynes, but good coverage there by the Pioneer secondary. Sets up 4th down and 6. Another out route there.
Yeah, and what an accurate throw by DeAugustino.
Right there on the numbers.
Only, his guy could be the only one to catch it, and been impressed with his accuracy tonight. And making plays, when he's had to run around a little bit as well. And, obviously a bright future for him.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, this is valuable experience. I mean, you're getting competitive play out of a freshman quarterback, plus he's growing, developing the whole time. 4th and 6 here. They're going to go, Will Mayfield, looking towards the end zones, DeAugustino, and that ball is intercepted. It won't matter. It'll be a turnover on downs anyways, but it is an interception. Nice play there for the Pioneers, as that was, if I can get a number on that young man, as he'll do the little Euro step celebration coming off the sideline here. I always love that one. Who is that? Can't get a number on him. There we go, Nolan Melendez. Dolan Melendez, rather. Thank you.
Yeah, great play. Lays out in the end zone. It's 4th down anyway, but still, go make a play.
Yeah, man, that was a heck of an effort there by Melendez in that back corner of the end zone.
I will say this for Coach Wilson and these guys. These kids are playing hard. I mean, yeah, execution and sloppiness notwithstanding, there's kids are playing hard, and they got a big game next week.
Yeah, it's week 1.
With the rivals, so I mean,
you got a lot of pride to play for still, no pun intended, with Antonio Pride, the quarterback, back out there. Low snap, he corrals it, gives it to his tailback, and he is stood up in the backfield. He is met by a host of Mayfield tacklers, and he's wrapped up right near that line of scrimmage, maybe even lost a yard. I think that was Quan Ward, the sophomore tailback. We've seen him get a couple of carries here tonight, and yes, it is number 20, Quan Ward, carrying that one. The sophomore, 5'8", $188 they got him listed at, so good size to him, but not able to do much on that occasion, losing 1 on that carry with under 5.5 left to go here in the contest. Again, Mayfield leading Elyria 20-3. Rakanushi, Michael Rush here with you. Dave Rydell. What was your term, Dave, instead of producer? Technical director. All right, I'll ride with that. And Gary Pelter handling the camera down there. And what do we got here? Another flag is what we were having too much fun. Yep, delay a game there. It's happened a couple of times here tonight. The delay a game, maybe the play call just getting in late or communication issues, what have you. So back to Pioneers up 5 yards. We'll make it 2nd and 16 now from their own 14-yard line, with under 5 to play in this one. Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show returns tomorrow morning on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel, 9 o'clock. Jared Kozar and myself will break down the action from tonight, get some scores, stats, stories, all that good stuff tomorrow morning, as Antonio Pride rolls out of the pocket here, making his way upfield across the 20 near that 25-yard line. He was pushed out near that 23, they'll give him. So a pickup of a couple, 4 they'll say. Makes it a 3rd and we'll say 7 now here for the Pioneers.
Anxious to watch the YouTube wrap-up show.
Yeah, first time we're doing it like that this season. And
no pressure.
Yeah, right. Hopefully next week when we start getting coaches involved once again, they're able to hop on board and join us as seamlessly as they have in the past. I think it'll be a nice addition to the show having it on YouTube, so we'll see how that goes tomorrow morning. Ja'Cory Bradley gets the jet sweep, makes a man miss, bounces it outside, makes another man miss. He's got the first down and more. He's finally shoved out shy of the 35, maybe the 34-yard line, but a nice hard run there from Ja'Cory Bradley. He picks up the first down, and man, you talk about a kid that's playing hard to the final whistle. Ja'Cory Bradley is doing that and then some. And now Antonio Pride a little slow getting off the field, and what do we got? Somebody down on that far sideline.
Yeah, Mayfield kid is down on their sideline.
Maybe an awkward collision over there. It's always awkward, you know, when you're running full speed into the sideline. If pretty much anybody on that sideline isn't paying attention, it can get ugly real quick. But hopefully that young man for Mayfield's okay. So it is a first down for Elyria. 4:40 left to go in the contest. We got an interesting final there. I saw Menor and Eau Falls. Menor pulling out a win at Olmsted Falls, 35-24. Hold on, what was that stat I just saw? Jackson Farley, 364 yards and 5 touchdowns on 35 carries.
Wow.
For Menor.
That's
goodness.
a game that lived up to the hype.
Does he think he's Derrick Henry or something? Oh my gosh. Wow. 364 yards. That's unbelievable. Here's the snap here to Antonio Pride. It's going to go to Ward. Ward taking the carry, and oh boy, he is tabletopped right there across the 30. And he got hit high, he got hit low, he got hit just about everywhere there, did Owen Ward, but he's all right. Bounces right back up afterwards. Maybe picked up one, got back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 here now for the Pioneers. Under 4.5 to play at their own 33-yard line, but again, they trail by 17.
Yeah, and Fairview on top of Clearview, 36-12, so they've kind of taken control.
Yeah, it was closer earlier, a little while ago, but the Warriors, I'll tell you what, that Fairview team,
Coach Rance. Shout out Coach Rance.
Yeah, man, he's got them moving in the right direction. No question about that. They got some of those basketball kids to play football now, finally, so they're doing things the right way. Antonio Pride looking for Ja'Cory Bradley. My goodness, the juke moves. Another one by Ja'Cory Bradley, making guys miss left and right, but not number 12 in Ben Corrett. He would not be fooled on the moves there by Ja'Cory Bradley. He finally wrestled him down after a modest pickup of about 4. So it sets up 3rd and 6 now here for the Pioneers at the 37-yard line. Maybe the 38 they'll give him.
Yeah, Bradley, not easy to tackle. There's not a lot of them to see. 5'4", 139. Oh. That's a nightmare seeing him in an open field, but
yeah,
nice play by Mayfield there to get him down.
Not somebody I would have been able to stay in front of back in the day, let alone now. So 3rd and 6 here for Elyria. Under 4 minutes left to go in this contest. Again, Pioneers down by 17. 4 wide receiver look here for Antonio Pride. Owen Ward in the backfield with him, the sophomore tailback. Pride looking near sideline, looking across the middle, nothing there. Rolling out to his right, flag gets thrown. No, it gets tucked away by the official, and now it'll get thrown. So Antonio Pride ends up throwing that football away. He was looking for, I think, Bradley, but a flag gets thrown. It was about to not be thrown. The official had it. He went to go tuck it back in, and then he ended up throwing it anyway. So it'll be a hold against Elyria. I'm sure head coach Bandiera will decline that on the, well, maybe he'll accept it here now in 4-down territory. That's exactly what he'll do. He'll back the Pioneers up 10 yards, make it a 3rd and 16. That's right, Dave Rydell. Get those scoreboard fingers working over there. 3rd and 16, yep, at their own 30, or no, I'm sorry, it'll be at their own 28 now for Elyria. So got to have it here. Again, you're down 3 scores, so really running out of time if you're head coach Matt Wilson. So another 4 wide receiver set here for the Pioneers as Elyria will break the huddle. Owen Ward still in there alongside Antonio Pride, the senior quarterback in the backfield. 3-man front here for Mayfield defensively. They'll rush just 3. They'll drop 8 into coverage. Looking up near the sideline, in and out of the hands of Asa Brown. And that one falls incomplete. Man, right idea there for Antonio Pride, looking for Asa Brown. He got him in one-on-one coverage, Mike, on this near sideline, but just not able to reel that one in. Good coverage there by the Wildcat secondary, and that brings up 4th and long, and it looks like Elyria is just going to punt this one away.
Yeah, really good attempt there. Good job by Brown to go up and try to high point it. A good throw by Pride, but, you know, good coverage and 4th down.
Yeah, it's just those big plays like that. I mean, Mayfield was able to hit on 2 of them early. That really got them off and running. And for Elyria, they just really haven't had that big explosive play. It's been, you know, little hitters here and there, pick up a 7 or 8, maybe a 12, 13-yard game, but really haven't seen that big, you know, 30, 40, 50-yard play for Elyria.
Looks like their biggest play, looking here, is a 20-yard pass to Christian Rogers. So, and a lot of the biggest thing, though, to me was the negative plays. So many negative plays from scrimmage, whether it was, you know, a tackle for loss, or even you could throw penalties into that too.
I'm sure that'll be a big focus for Coach Wilson and his guys tonight as they look at some film and get back in the film room tomorrow morning with these young men. Certainly a lot to learn and grow from tonight, as Bruner will get this one away kind of off the side of the foot. That one will squib out of bounds, maybe to the Elyria 40. We'll see where they mark this one out of bounds. Not Bruner's best kick, but I'll tell you what, that kid's been active tonight and then some, no question. So they'll say what, about the 43. Thank you, Dave. So that's where Mayfield will start their next possession. They lead it 20-3 over Elyria. 3:27 left to go in the ball game. Make sure you guys stick around after for the post-game show. That one brought to you by EcoTree Services, your complete tree care company. We'll recap how this one went down. Just, again, a very weird, unorthodox game here tonight. No question about that. But we'll look at some finals from around the area. Preview some stuff coming up tomorrow and next week on WEOL. The give is to Brody Colello, and he gets wrestled down in the backfield. And how about that? Another flag. And this one might go against Levi Springer, if I'm not mistaken. He was throwing his hands up in the air like he was getting caught with something he did wrong. I'm not sure what exactly that might be. But Levi Springer was in on that stop, and it was against him. Was that a face mask against Springer?
Yeah, I think that's what they got, a face mask.
Boy, I don't know how he did that. He's got a big club on his right arm. He's only got the left. Yeah, right. So, but nonetheless, 15 free yards for Mayfield, moves him from the 43 to the 28. And a fresh set of downs here for the Wildcats with under 3.5 left to go in the contest. Freshman quarterback Dario D'Agostino breaks the huddle. He was impressive in that first quarter. 67-yard touchdown strike to J.D. Sega, then another one from 49 yards out. That one Jaden Haynes on the receiving end of. Brody Colello also had the touchdown run.
Yeah, they're going to bleed the play clock here.
Yep.
It's at 15.
Yeah, he is in no rush here, is Dario D'Agostino, nor are the Mayfield Wildcats.
It's kind of nice to have the play clocks here.
Yeah, how about that? Now he'll take the snap, goes to Colello. He's going to go inside the tackle, actually, and he's wrestled down out across the 30, maybe the 27-yard line they'll give him. So a pickup of a couple there for Brody Colello. Running off the right guard, Micah Lynn. Him and Ethan Claflin, a force on the right side of that Mayfield offensive line. How about that, Mike? You got a senior center in Michael Fapiano. You got a senior right guard in Micah Lynn. We know all about him. And then you got a senior right tackle in Ethan Claflin. That's three veteran physical guys on the right side of your offensive line. Is it any wonder they've run that way so often?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely a great luxury for Coach Bandiera.
Of course, Luciano Trasic on the left side, the sophomore. Coach Bandiera, I should say, was very high on him in the pregame show. Here comes Colello right up the middle, had a lane, and was wrestled down by Levi Springer before he could go any further. It was a big hole, but it closed quickly thanks to the efforts of Levi Springer. Definitely want to shout out Levi, man. I mean, that is not easy playing with that club. I never had to deal with that back in my playing days, but I know some of my teammates who did, and that is not easy to do. That takes a lot of just mental will and strength because, I mean, you're kind of nursing it at the same time, right? You don't want to make it any worse, but you also got to try to help your team win out there. So it's a tough night for Levi Springer to try to balance all that, but he's doing a great job. Minute 20 now left to go in this contest. 3rd and 3 for Mayfield at the Pioneer 22. Another first down will really just about do it in terms of them being able to run it out. Colello takes the carry, bounces off one tackle, picks up the first down, and he's brought down just shy of the 15. They'll give him the 16, and that first down might allow Mayfield to hit the victory formation if Elyria elects not to use their timeouts. They still have all three, as does Mayfield, but with that first down, clock under a minute left to go, and given the injuries and things that have already happened here tonight, I would imagine that Coach Bandiera is more than happy to take a knee here, and that's exactly what they'll do. Mayfield just come out in the victory formation. The right call, the classy move by head coach Ross Bandiera. So for Elyria, back to the drawing board. Against their rival Lorraine next week. So
I guess if there's any good news, you've got your rival next week, and so the kids are going to, obviously be up for that and work hard to try to get that one done this week.
So the knee is taken by Dario D'Agostino. Elyria won't take the timeouts, and the clock will run out here at Elyria as the teams will greet each other at midfield, applaud each other on a hard night of work, but tonight belongs to the Wildcats of Mayfield as the final 5 seconds tick off the clock. Mayfield moves to 1-0, Elyria 0-1 as the Wildcats come here to Elyria and knock off the Pioneers. Your final score 20-3. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back with our EcoTree Services post-game show. EcoTree Services, they are your complete tree care company. We'll talk about the scoring in this one. It was pretty much all in that first half, minus the Colello third quarter touchdown run, but we'll talk about the scores. We'll look at the out-of-town scoreboard and get some final thoughts before we say goodnight. Again, your final score here from Elyria, Mayfield 20, Elyria 3. We'll be right back. It's the Gridiron Clash here on the new WEOL.com and on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs Radio. We had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
High school football in Lorain County is all about tradition, pride, and community, and that's what Stewart's Appliance is built on. For generations, Stewart's has been the family-owned appliance store you can count on for quality products and personal service. From refrigerators to washers, ovens to dishwashers, Stewart's has what you need to keep your home running. Proud to support Lorain County and proud to support high school sports. Stewart's Appliance, where community comes first.
At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford this month, you choose. Right now, get the Escape, Mach-E, Mustang, or Bronco Sport for only $399 a month with 0 down, or the Bronco, Explorer, or F-150 for just $499 a month. At Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, we make it that easy.
Back here at Elyria, it is the EcoTree Services post-game show. EcoTree Services, they are your complete tree care company. Big thanks to all of our folks listening in on WEOL.com and watching on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. As I think one of the cool features here, if you subscribe to the channel, you can be a part of the live chat. One of our listeners saying they were watching Dustin Crum and Justin Rankin play each other in a Canadian Football League game. That's pretty cool. A couple of Kent State guys there. Dustin Crum, of course, Midview alum, so awesome to see him doing his thing in the old CFL. But again, here at Elyria, the Pioneers fall in week 1 as that first win of 2025 will have to wait. Again, Mayfield a winner here tonight, 20-3 over the Pioneers. Looking at the scoring recap, most of it coming in those first couple of drives for Mayfield. It was Dario D'Agostino, the man of the hour tonight, the man of the game, I would say. The freshman quarterback for Mayfield opened the scoring up with a 67-yard touchdown strike to J.D. Sega. It was a beautiful high-arching ball down the far sideline that Sega got underneath of and ran the rest of the way. 67 yards into the end zone for a touchdown, made it 7-0. The very next drive, D'Agostino again, this time from 49 yards out, found Jaden Haynes, to make it 14-0. Lex Bruner would get Elyria on the board towards the end of that first quarter with a 31-yard field goal. That made it 14-3. No scoring in the second quarter, and Brody Colello ended the scoring with a third-quarter touchdown run. That extra point would be blocked by Elyria, but that would be it for the scoring. Again, a 20-3 final here tonight. Mayfield victorious over Elyria. So the Pioneers, they got some figuring out to do before next week when they visit Lorain. So they'll be on YouTube back-to-back weeks. Again, Elyria at Lorain, our YouTube game next week. And for Mayfield, they take on Elyria Catholic. So they'll complete their tour of Elyria, as Mike Rush said, before one more non-conference action game, and then they'll jump into Western Reserve Conference play. So let's take a look at some of our out-of-town scores here. Dave Rydell has kindly pulled those up for me here on his cell phone. So let's take a look at what we've got happening in and around Lorain County. So at the top of things here, oh no, what happened to my Independence and Columbia score? That's all right. I know Columbia was kind of running away with that. There it is, 30-0. The Raiders, a big-time winner over Independence. So the Raiders will start the season off on the right foot. Bishop Hartley running away from Elyria Catholic down in Columbus. The Hawks dominating the Panthers 42-21. Oh boy, a tight one over there in Strongsville. Not sure how much time is left in this one, but Avon Lake on the road in Strongsville, trailing the Mustangs 43-36. We'll see if the Shoremen can mount a late comeback there. Keystone dominating on the road in West Salem, beating up on the Northwestern Huskies 32-0. So good job for head coach Don Griswold and his guys. Menor, we heard this one, a winner over Olmsted Falls, 35-28, in what seemed to be a crazy game. I'll have to try to find a recap on that one somehow, some way. Our guys down in Brunswick were treated to an all right game tonight, but one that did not go the way of the Brunswick Blue Devils. They fall to Berea Mid-Park 28-7. Michael Keefe and Chad Meyer had that one for the WEOL Network on our Stream 3 Medina County matchup. Man, oh man, those Amherst Comets. How about Tom Thome and his guys? They beat up on Sandusky 48-6 in the home opener away from home. That one was being played at Avon Lake as Amherst puts the final touches, the finishing touches, I should say, on their stadium renovations that, might I add, were really well done this summer by the guys over there in Amherst that had to get that together in a short amount of time. Brian Morgan and his North Ridgeville Rangers, they start the season 1-0, a 41-0 drubbing of North Olmsted. Back to our Medina County teams. Wadsworth, a big-time Week 1 win over Barberton, 55-7. So a nice win for head coach Justin Todd and his Grizzlies. How about Vermilion? Those Sailors, Dave Rydell, we're going sailing here in Week 1. They get a narrow, and I do mean narrow, about as narrow as you can get, victory over Margaretta, 21-20. Good for Coach Bill DeFucci and his guys. Another season-opening win for them. Edison beats up on Firelands 42-6. That is a darn good Chargers team, darn good Chargers program, and that was put on display here tonight. Down in Lodi, Cloverleaf skunked at home by Buckeye. The Bucks 41-0. How about Greg Dennison and his guys with a statement win here in Week 1? Wellington falls at home to Western Reserve. 45-6 was the final score there. Man, did that Midview score get out of hand or what? They go to Westlake and they beat up on the Demons 48-14. The final score there. Lakewood picked up a win over Marshall, or no, I'm sorry, they were winning. I'm not sure what the final would be there, so let's just move past that. Last we heard from Fairview, it was 21-12. I know Mike gave me another score from that. I know Fairview had pulled away from more than that, so I'm assuming Fairview's going to hang on for that win. And a final down in Stowe, my neck of the woods in Summit County. Stowe losing at home to Medina. How about Larry Laird and his Battling Bees starting this season off on the right foot, 21-7. They pick up the win over the Bulldogs of Stowe Monroe Falls, and I think that should do it for all of our local schools. We had the scores from last night, obviously. Avon winning over Ignatius 40-14. Highland a 40-point win after they went to Erie, Pennsylvania. They beat up on McDowell 49-9 was the final score there. And Black River drops their home opener, Jeromesville Hillsdale. We know all about them and how good they are. They get a 42-14 win over the Pirates. Again, University got the 42-0 win over Brookside last night. I didn't have the call. Ron had the call for that one, but I was there at Brookside. And that'll do it for our out-of-town scoreboard. So, Dave Rydell, tremendous work out of you, my friend, and hats off to you for a job well done tonight, man. First time running the laptop here with the new streaming software, running the scoreboard bug, keeping scores updated throughout the night. So, great job to you, my friend, and a great job by Gary Pelter below me outside the press box studio here. Great camera work both last night and tonight, so we appreciate the hard work of both of you gentlemen for helping get this new WEOL off the ground here in Week 1. So that'll pretty much do it for us. Again, for Elyria, just some figuring out to do as they make their return to WEOL.com next week. They'll hit the road to go to Lorain to take on the Titans in the Lorain County rivalry matchup along with Avon and Avon Lake, but we love some Elyria Lorain as well, and we'll get a full taste of that next week right here on WEOL.com and on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. All right, a bunch of people to thank before we say good night. First and foremost, our sponsors, as tonight's matchup between Elyria and Mayfield was brought to you by Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford at the corner of Route 57 and East Broad Street, Eco Tree Services, your complete tree care company, Valley Chevrolet on State Route 18 in Wellington, and Stewart's TV and Appliance, 468 Cleveland Street in Elyria. Big thanks to both head coaches, Ross Bandiera and his Mayfield Wildcats. You got me rosters, starters, the two deep, all that good stuff. So big thanks to Coach Bandiera, and same for Matt Wilson and the Elyria Pioneers. Big thanks to Elyria Athletic Director Heather Beck for making sure we were well fed, well nourished, and well connected up here in the press box tonight. So always appreciative of everybody's efforts. As well, maybe we'll keep it here for just a second. Here comes Mike Rush after the post game. Work those legs, Mike. Come on, little hustle, little pep in the step. He's making his way up here. I'm sure he had a conversation with Coach Wilson down there, so we'll let him make his way in the press box. Wrapping up postgame. Any final thoughts that you got while you were down there, Mike? Anything worth sharing?
Yeah, I just talked to Coach Wilson about, obviously the sloppiness of the game, and he said, yeah, it was sloppy both ways, and, the difference was really those big plays that they gave up, a slow start for them, and, he talked about their lack of depth, and it kind of showed tonight with some injuries, some guys going out. But they'll refocus, and they've got their rival coming up in Lorain.
All right, so that'll pretty much do it for us here tonight. Mike, great job out of you, my friend, on this new WEOL. Kind of embarking on this journey together, so great stuff all around. So for everybody here at Elyria, for Mike on the color commentary, for Dave Rydell, our technical director extraordinaire, for cameraman extraordinaire Gary Pelter, I am Rocco Nushi saying one more time your final score here from Elyria. It was Mayfield 20, Elyria 3 in a game that you watched and listened to live right here on WEOL.com and on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. Join us tomorrow morning for the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show will go from 9 to 10 a.m. tomorrow, right back here on the YouTube channel. Until then, have a great, safe Friday night, everyone. We'll